Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SpawnCast episode 137. We're missing Sean and we're missing Max. I think Max was running some issues and Sean just wasn't feeling well. But I called an MVG, so he's here as usual. He's probably going to be around most times anyway. So
what's up?
Get used to him. How's it going tonight, man?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Good. Very good. Very good. Nate the Hate is here.
Oh yeah,
Nate the Hate. Yes, Nate's been making a name for himself on YouTube already.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of hate.
Getting a lot of hate.
Eating.
And OJ's here. OJ, what's up, man? How you doing?
I think I'm doing okay. I don't know if YouTube's done.
I was gonna say, are you the Twitch? You're Twitch now, right?
Yeah, YouTube's done bending me over at this point, but I'm all right.
Full on Twitch. Well, why don't you let the people know real quick what's going on as they're joining in at the top of the show?
Yeah. Right now or later?
No, you can go to know now.
So they know okay, so I can't stream on YouTube. I usually stream on there and on Twitch, but I can't stream on YouTube for the next 3 months because Pokemon leaks strike, and then I can't upload any content on my channel for the next week because of I told people that I uploaded a video saying, hey, I'm banned on YouTube. Come watch me on Twitch if you want to watch me live stream. So community strike. Regular strike, getting tag teams.
Wow, so man. Is that I didn't even know that was even a thing.
Yeah, it's like a terms of service thing. I learned about that when I think it happened to like Linus Tech Tips or somebody pointed it out a while ago, and I was like,
it's one of those loose things. I'm pretty sure Maximilian Dude does it all the time.
Max does it all the time. Yeah, Max.
But I think he's signed with YouTube. Like I think YouTube's his manager.
They have to like catch you or something doing it.
Someone has to report you. It has to be like
it was user reported. It was user reported.
That's lame. Who told on you?
What? Everybody loves you, OJ.
Who told on you?
Who would have done that?
People get mad when I stream on like if I can't stream on YouTube, people get butthurt. Like they get mad if I can't. Like people get really mad if I can't stream on YouTube because some people hate Twitch.
Maybe they were like scrolling through their feed and they saw it and they just hit the 3 dots and hit report and then left. Like that was, I don't know. That seems crazy to do all that. Like to spend time doing that. Seems
and it was late at night too. It wasn't like it was like super early. It was late at night. But no, it's all good. In the meantime, I've got a second channel coming up, so that's gonna be ready Monday. I got the art in, so second channel coming on Monday. You guys I'll talk about it on Monday. And in the meantime, I'm streaming on Twitch. So player
Essence, purple dude, let's go.
Yeah, in the meantime, I'm on Twitch until I don't think Nintendo's gonna lift this 3-month ban.
Yeah, you should just build that. You should just build that Twitch live streaming up, and then just use YouTube for like just do YouTube for like published videos that you create over time.
Yeah,
and
we'll see.
You know?
We'll see. It's tough because some people really like don't like Twitch that are on YouTube. Like, so
we'll see.
Don't
get over it.
But in the meantime, I'm on Twitch. But yeah, I mean, like I prepare for situations like this. I'm not stupid, you know. So I mean, I got everything set. So because like YouTube's so finicky, you know what I'm saying? Like they're so like at any point your channel can blow up or they can just terminate it or whatever. You know, they don't care. So I prepared for stuff like this. So I'm good. But thank you guys for all the support recently. For real, like a lot of you guys like really reaching out and helping out. So thank you guys.
Well, when you build that second channel, let me know, especially if you put it on Twitter. We'll send out some retweets.
Yeah, it'll be a Monday. I'm gonna take all it because I can't stream really, so or I can't do videos. So next week is gonna be like really. I'm gonna have at least 2 or 3 videos, pretty cool edited videos. So it should be a lot of fun, man. And Monday it should be live. I got the art today, so the art's really cool. So yeah,
cool. That's exciting.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Then we have we have Miss Click with us tonight. Let's go, Miss Click. Playing a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a balance between Death Stranding and Pokemon right now. So.
Okay. Oh yeah, we still have to hear your thoughts on Death Stranding.
You were there. You saw it all unfold.
Oh man. Then we got Scott. Hey, what's up, Scott? Scott's in the chat. We're providing noise for him to edit to, so I guess there's a video coming from Scott tomorrow. There you go. Good to see Scott coming out though to the stream. And then Evan he's awake.
I made it.
I'm impressed right now. I saw what you posted on Twitter, and I was like, "How is he gonna be there?" I don't know. I thought he was gonna be asleep.
We'll see how long this lasts.
This man has like level 70 Pokemon already.
32 hours.
32. Wow. This game came out Friday. He's got 32 hours in this thing. So Evan will be able to give us I think a pretty good idea of Pokemon Shield, right?
Yeah.
Pokemon Shield.
32 hours.
Yeah, man.
Click stream Death Stranding for 12 straight hours. I thought that was insane.
Yeah, I only have
That's
12 in Pokemon.
That's like 2 missions in the game, though.
Yeah. Well, I played super late the first night, and then my dog woke me up like 2 hours after falling asleep, and I couldn't go back. I was like,
oh well.
Hey man, I told Evan, I was like, hey, you're gonna be able to do some coverage for Pokemon on the SpawnCast. Can you let us know? And you're like, I got it. So, and here we are now. He's already beaten the game, and we're 32 hours in. So.
I played 11 hours of Pokemon. I was like, oh, this is pretty good. Well, I guess not. Like, I guess I've been bodied, dude, three times as much. Like
I said, I wanted to see, and maybe somebody in the chat can let me know how you check your hours played just on like the Xbox without the game, or do you need the game to record it? I'm curious, because I'm curious how many hours, like, because I want to at least tell people how many hours I've played of Jedi Fallen Order so far, because I feel like I've played a fair amount now, so like I'm working through that skill tree pretty well. So, yeah, so Evan can tell us all about Pokemon, which is good to hear. So why don't we? Do you guys want to start with Pokemon? Because I was going to ask, has anyone been playing anything other than Pokemon or Star Wars? Misclick played Death. Okay, yeah. Tell us about Death Stranding. Okay, let's hear it. Because I did play more Death Stranding. Yeah. I think I'm in like chapter 9, halfway through 9 or 10, beginning of 10.
I got to be honest. I did play a lot last week when it came out, when we were talking last week, and I want to go back and play it. But the thought of me going back and loading the game up is just like the commitment you got to put into it.
Okay, something's changed here with MVG.
I do want to talk about Death Stranding too, because I think I have a little bit of a change in terms of my own opinion on the game and what I.
So OJ and me are flip flopping now, I think.
Yeah, there's 14. By the way, there's 14 chapters in this game, MVG. Yeah, so that should tell you.
Yeah, I'm only on like 4 or 5.
Yeah, so I'm. You're to the part where it starts getting good, Misclick. All right, cool. So I've been rolling through it, but there is a point right now where I am where it is a long. It's when they tell you that really long trip, and you're like, you know what's killed it for me? The mountains. Did anyone get to the mountains?
Scene? You mean before everything's like kind of worn down and built?
You get in the snow, and you're like.
Oh, the blizzard was awesome.
Oh, that snow is so annoying because it looks like it's close on your map. And then it just takes you forever because it's in the snow.
Oh, the blizzard was awesome.
I mean, I was doing it, but I was getting annoyed just because it's snow. Because then you get out of the snow, and all of a sudden I'm in love with just the grass because I could run really fast. It's like what happened here? I that part annoyed me, but once I got out of there, I felt better about it, and I'm gonna go back to it. The problem is, I literally played all the way up until Jedi came out, and now I'm stuck on that, which we'll talk about.
That's where I'm at as well. I mean, I'll definitely go back and revisit the game.
But when I'm done with Jedi, I got to go to Pokemon. So that's on my mind. I'm like, I just need to get Death Stranding done before the Game Awards, because I think it's gonna be nominated for something, and I want to be able to give my opinion on it somewhere. Like, we'll talk about that in a little bit too.
I need to see the story as a whole.
Yeah,
that's
before I
Kojima game. That's what
best game with Death and Stranding in the title. Yes.
Best Kojima game.
Misclick, what do you think of the game?
Okay, so I had a lot of like, even just the first night that we played it, because we played it for like, we streamed maybe like, it's like from 12 to 15 hours that we just streamed. Like, I was like, I'm not going to bed, and this is going to be on my mind too much. The game is so raw and organic in the beginning, where he purposefully wants it to feel slow. I'm like noticing a trend. He purposefully wants it. Like, I don't really want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't played it, but you know, like, your first package that you really carry is like a really sad thing. And so like, you're learning the controls, but you're also carrying this body of someone, you know, who's supposed to mean a lot to you or something. But the thing I really like about the game is every upgrade is like so satisfying. Like the first time you get power armor, or the first time I even came across the freaking trucks from the mules. And you
where you can steal them.
Like, let's go. And then you figure out you can run them over. Like, dude, it was like the best thing ever.
They ran me over. I was just walking along.
Oh, really?
Nah,
dude, I like baited them across the river, and I love how like they stumble through the river and stuff like that, and like they'll like fall over, and it was really cool. Like, I like the strands, how you can just parry right away, and it's like an unlimited thing, so it's like you never really feel like you're constantly having to look for ammo or anything. But the progression, the story, I just figured out more about Fragile, like what happened with her and the other party, and that like pissed me off.
Are you? Oh yeah, well yeah. They're supposed to not like Higgs, but chapter 4 is where things get really interesting. I'm trying to figure out how to talk about it without ruining it. But did you start up chapter 4?
Yeah, I loved the part. Well, for a while, you get this certain package, and you're like, wait a minute,
Yes,
this is a dangerous package, and it's like flashing red and everything, and you're like, well, heck, like, am I supposed to drive off the map somewhere and like leave it? Because as soon as I get out of radius or something, like it's a big deal, or as soon as it gets to a certain area, it's a big deal. So like I was freaking out. I was like, what do I do? Like, do I give it to a mule and hope that, like, what do I know? And so like little things like that were cool because it doesn't tell you really what you should do. It just kind of like shows where people are on the map or whatever. And it didn't like hold your hand. You very well could have gone, to another area, and it would have probably.
I did that.
For you.
I did that.
You did it?
Oh yeah.
Dude, we gotta talk about it after without spoilers because I want to know what happens because I didn't look it up. But yeah, I was panicking.
You just get a game over screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, no, dude, I was panicking, and like the first time I really encountered like the BTs, the game reminds me of. Sorry, I don't want to talk too long about it.
Very fun.
And I've never been a big fan of like stealth. I'm kind of like going guns blazing. So when everybody was talking about, it's more stealth, parry, defensive type, I was like, I'm not really big into that. But then once, like the first time I encountered the BTs, kind of around the first distribution area that you get to, the one where you first see the bike, but you don't get it right away. You have to go collect those crystals. Right. Yeah. And so like you're really encountering them for the first time. So and I was freaking out.
You haven't because chapter 4 is like a big time contrast compared to what we've been doing this whole time. Did you hit that? Did you hit that point yet? I'm trying to think of how to explain it without saying what it is.
Getting caught up in a storm, my first chiral storm.
Yes. Yeah. Where you're confused where you are and everything. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because that was interesting.
That was really cool. Granted, I am not I don't prefer shooters with sticks.
Right.
I think that'll probably be more enjoyable for me if I was on PC, but obviously it's not an option right now. But people who have experience playing shooters with sticks, it's like your first kind of experience with an actual like gun.
Feels Metal Gear like almost.
I've never played a Kojima game or a Metal Gear, so like I have like when everybody's like, oh, this is a Kojima game, I like have no idea what that means. So I'm like,
played Metal Gear Solid.
I haven't like literally
never played Metal Gear Solid. Damn. Metal Gear Solid needs to be the next game.
Listen, my parents let me play Pokemon growing up. You think they'd let me play Metal Gear?
You can joint stream playing the game with Fringe.
Metal Gear's been
no. This is
like 12, OJ. We've been over this. My birthday just happened. I'm 13 now.
This is actually this is a good thing actually because that means that you can go back and you can play them if you want.
Yes,
that's amazing. Exactly. I actually wish I hadn't played Metal Gear Solid right now so I can go back and play them.
It should be against the law to not play Metal Gear. There should be some type of rule against it.
Yeah, but I mean, also in a way, people are like, oh, she's just like a Kojima fangirl. And I'm like, dude, I literally didn't even know he existed technically, outside of like 2-3 years ago when we were seeing the first trailers.
You should think about streaming the first Metal Gear Solid at some point.
I need to.
Only because, well, one, a lot of people like watching that game get played because there are some moments in there where you're a little confused and they break the fourth wall in it, and everyone likes to see how people how they react to it, just to see if they can figure it out.
I love the fourth wall breaks.
There's a character called Psycho Mantis, and he reads your memory card in the game.
Really?
Or you could wait for next year when Bluepoint.
Dude, if they do it, if they do it, I'm on top of that day one right there. If they redo Metal Gear Solid.
Okay.
Otherwise, when it's on the GameCube, you get Twin Snakes. It's kind of pricey. I'm trying to think of where else you could. It's on the PlayStation Classic, I guess.
If you're going to play Metal Gear Solid, I would suggest get Twin Snakes on the GameCube and play that one.
I agree. I think Twin Snakes is phenomenal. It's basically the PS1, the one that everybody loved on PS1, kind of like Resident Evil 2 remake style, right? It's basically like that. And then they put it on the GameCube, and it's phenomenal. That's what really got me into playing Metal Gear Solid was that one. And then Metal Gear Solid 2 came out. And that one was just like a trip. I know a lot of you guys played it back in the day.
Yeah,
that was a trip. The whole PR campaign and everything. I don't want to get. I can do a whole Metal Gear Solid podcast, but anyway, I'm gonna stop right there.
I'll have to go back.
I love Metal Gear Solid though. I really do like
2 and 3 are on. They're on Game Pass for Xbox One right now as the HD collection. Technically, you can play 2 right now if you wanted to and skip 1, but I always say skip or play 1. Or technically you play 3.
Or you can head into 3 because that one it goes back in time.
Yeah.
So you can go into 3 and then you can do 2, or sorry, and then you can do 1 and then you can do 2 and then you can do 4.
It is cool to do 1 and then go to 3 because then you see Revolver Ocelot when he was younger.
Yes,
like,
that is very cool. You're right.
I say just play 1, 2, and then play it normally. Go ahead and do that. But if you can find Twin Snakes at a decent price, like I think it's still cheaper than like a $60 game, so it's still cheaper than that. But
got you.
Yeah, it's worth doing that. And you have the HDMI GameCube adapter now.
I do. Which I also got sent the one for Nintendo 64, so I gotta get one of those now too.
It looked really good. It's gonna look really good on there too. You play Twin Snakes. It was technically crazy back when people were just like, "Whoa, what are the graphics on this?" Like back then, and the way it ran it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's what I would do. I would if you like Death Stranding, I would Metal Gear is more Kojima. Just
we were talking about that in chat. The last thing I'll say, and I know you guys talked about it a lot last week, was I love the hidden community aspect where you'll come back to an area and like a road's finished, or I started a highway and then I come back and it's like there was a giant just bridge built the next time I started, and I was like, what the heck, I can travel so far now. And like, you know, the community aspect where you can do contracts with other players and like finish stuff for each other, like I love that. That was really, really cool. So like getting to see new paths made, like the first time you go through an area, you know, it's like living hell because it's like your bike or your car isn't terrain properly, and then all of a sudden you come back the next time and it's like it's worn down. You know, people have kind of helped each other out. Like that was so cool to me, like to see it. Like if they even wanted, I don't know how the game ends obviously, but they could do like an online aspect, you know, like of a I don't know. I have so many things that would be so cool if they did like a Red Dead type online thing, but this is because everybody's hidden and you can't see each other. Like it was really cool and mysterious at first. And so I like that aspect.
It is neat to see all the roads be built, because as the roads get built, it's actually easier to travel around, which is nice.
Exactly.
So as they get built, it's less difficult, which is nice. Oh yeah, OJ, what are your thoughts on Death Stranding?
Yeah, so I think the problem that I had is that it was, since it's not like a game that's going to, like, fun factor just hops out at you at the beginning, right? I think you kind of have to immerse yourself, and I don't think streaming the game is the right way. I personally feel that playing
it's a good off-stream game too, yeah,
playing it on a 4K TV, 7.1 surround sound, you know what I'm saying? Having it, all of that, and kind of immersing yourself into the experience and not having other people talk to you, because it does have like an isolation type of game, right? So if people are talking to you in the stream and saying certain things, it's going to break your train of thought. At least that's what it did for me, at least, you know? People are complaining about the game, you know, saying certain things, and you're seeing that while you're playing. It takes you out of the experience. When I kind of played it in my living room, put my PS4 Pro in the living room, played it, and kind of went through, I was like, oh, okay, I understand what Kojima is trying to do here. I understand what's going on. I played it more and I get it. It's not my type of game, but I like it more than I liked it beforehand. Am I going to finish it all the way through? I played a number of hours. I thought it was good. Am I going to finish all the way through? I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll go back to it, just because it does take a time investment, like MVG was saying. But at the same time, like I can see how like people can really like it and enjoy the game. It's not my type, but I can get it. Like if you really get into the mindset of it and see what Kojima's, you know, trying to do here, I think that there is a lot of fun to be had. It's just I wish there was some more elements that could, you know, make it more fun from the beginning and for people to hop in, because I'm afraid that people aren't going to give it the shot. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not. I don't think it's very fun for like the first 3, 4, 5 hours, you know. It does take some time. Yeah, it's very different. It does take some time. And if they kind of incorporated just a little bit other elements into the game, I think it would have drew some more people in. But I see the vision that he's trying to create. I still don't really like it, to be honest, but I can see what he's trying to do, and I'll try to see if I can go back to it though. So I have changed my mind just a bit, that I kind of took away the whole stream atmosphere and kind of put it on the 4K TV and all that, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I think if they made the upgrades a bit more available in at the beginning, it probably would be a little easier to get through.
Just adding in some more stuff in the open world, like before everything kind of just transforms. I mean, it would have been harmless. You can still say, hey, let's have some missions, right? I mean, it could have just been something small, like some extra missions here. Like, I mean, I know he was trying to tell a story though. He was trying to tell a story. He's trying to tell his way, but you know, since it's not gamey per se, right? It's going to draw some people off to it, call it boring and all that. And some people don't want to play a game for 10 hours before it gets good. That's something that you have to also have to. Some people don't want to play it for 6 or 7 hours. They want They want fun right there. You know, they don't want to wait that long. Yep. So that's the only problem. But I can see where he was going for the game now that I've played more.
Well, Nate, did you finish Death Stranding, or did you have to get it back to Redbox?
I had to bring it back to Redbox, and then I just bought a copy.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I kind of hated the idea I was buying the copy because I wanted to try to beat it with Redbox. But
you bought Death Stranding instead of Jedi Fallen Order. Man.
Yeah, I don't care about Star Wars. I've never seen a Star Wars movie to completion.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Yeah,
so,
fine.
It's like I played the GameCube games, I played like the Rogue Squadron games, and that's about it. I was
prepared for you to say the Lego Star Wars games.
No, I've never played those.
Did you play Shadows of the Empire?
No. So I played some of what was that game? Those
Force Unleashed.
Star Wars game. Yeah, Force Unleashed. I played those because those are kind of like action games, and you were walking around with a lightsaber, and you were kind of like a badass.
That's what Jedi Fallen Order is.
No, but I'm talking to a guy, one of my friends who played it. He unfortunately he got the Xbox version, and he just has a normal Xbox One like me. He's like, this game is a piece of crap. He's like,
he has the VCR.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't run
on
right. He hates everything about the game. He's like, this is just an unoptimized piece of shit.
Yeah, there's some issues.
There's no excuse for that. Like,
yeah, there is.
He gets it.
I live streamed the PC version for the first hour, and I was having a couple of quirky things happen when I was doing that.
Well, so you bought Death Stranding then, Nate?
Yes.
Okay. So you're still working. You're still working through it.
I'm on chapter 12.
Oh, you're almost done then.
Ooh.
I think chapter 14 is like one long cutscene.
Yeah, in one of the chapters, I think it was like chapter 10 or something. It's wicked short, so it's kind of you're hitting the point. Like a game kind of hits its high. Like 3, I think, is the longest chapter.
That was a long chapter.
Shorter.
Yes, especially if you get distracted, it's even longer. Like I think I spent 10 hours at least just on that.
Well, that's good to hear. I'll be curious what your thoughts are on the ending, Nate, because apparently it's kind of mind blowing. So.
It's interesting the way the story is developing because it does feel like it is an allegory to life.
It's scary
in a weird
accurate.
type of way. But I'm not sure if everyone's going to pick up on the allegory that the game is trying to convey, because I can also see it going another way where the point of the game is even through extinction, we're not alone and we can put like actions forward to counter extinction of like humankind. So there's kind of like multiple layers going on with this game. So I don't think everyone's walking away with it with the same experience or the same idea.
Okay.
Well, did you see that there's the big giant mechanized robot from Horizon Zero Dawn?
Dude, the
hologram,
tall neck?
Yeah, that was being shared all over Twitter. Yeah, like apparently when you 5-star, it was one of the things that you 5-star. Apparently, you get like a hologram of it, which is cool.
Yeah, it's giant. It was beautiful.
Yeah. So, did you play anything else, Nate? Before we talk about the obvious 2 large games from this week. You always have some weird indie game. That's the reason I'm asking you.
I think the weird indie game I played this week is still under embargo, and I thought the game was broken beyond like recognition because it was like 45 megabytes. So I downloaded, I boot the game up, and I'm sitting. It took me 25 minutes to get to the title screen. I'm like, okay, either my SD card is completely broken or my Switch is about to die. So I booted up some other games. Everything was fine. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this game? So I did it on my other Switch. It took another like 20 minutes to get to the title screen. I was like, okay, this game is fucked up. I'm like, I have to stream this and just have like, this is the initial load. And
that's
then I was just going to do like for the whole video, just loading. And then I was going to like back to the main screen, leaving the game running. I would come back and it would go faster. I was like, okay, I'm like, wait a second. This is like a memory leak. So I shut off the switches, rebooted them, and then the game loaded up in like 2 seconds.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, what the hell? I'm like, how can a 45 megabyte game take 25 minutes to get to the title screen? That's impossible.
What game was that?
Blue Kid 2.
What? There's what? Blue Kid 2.
There's a Blue Kid 1?
Yeah. What?
Yeah, I learned that too. It's spelled BLOO. So I don't know, some platformer that's like I was jumping on a piece of slime and it died, and
all right.
I don't know.
All right. 45 megabytes well spent. Was that really it, Nate? Just some weird indie game like that you played?
And what's WRC 8?
Oh yeah, when is that out?
Tuesday.
Okay. I would look at it occasionally. I wasn't probably going to be playing it because I was going to be playing other things, but I did look at it occasionally because it was another racer for the Switch, and those are always interesting to see how they overcome things like digital triggers and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna test out the GameCube control to see if it worked, but I've only played 10 minutes of it. That was the game I tested to make sure my SD card and Switch weren't dying because of Blue Kid 2.
Well, I'll say that Farrell had to make it so that it basically switched completely to a GameCube controller to take advantage of those analog sticks or the triggers. So that'll be interesting to see if they did something similar. So.
Yeah, I think it's worth just a 5. I mean, it takes 2 seconds to set up the GameCube adapter. So.
Oh yeah, very good, very good. So do we want to do Pokemon first? Pokemon. Who played Pokemon? I got Pokemon Sword. Haven't got Shield.
I got Shield and a double pack with Sword and Shield.
Okay, nice.
Two shields and a sword. I got 2 shields and a sword.
I got Sword, but I haven't actually played it yet.
I've been playing it. This is my first Pokemon. I don't know how you guys can play through 2 whole games.
Did you do Sword? Did you get Sword or?
I got Sword. Yeah.
I think a lot of people are getting the double pack because it's very quick apparently to get to the point where you can trade your starter. Mm-hmm. So you have you have 2 copies of the game, 2 switches. You just start trading the starters.
That's if you want to trade yourself.
That's what Austin was talking about. He wanted all 3 starters on his main file.
Can't you just trade with friends though, or do you have to wait?
You can, but if you don't want to talk to people,
you have to have friends.
You don't want to talk. Okay, fair enough.
People bought the special edition Switch and then double pack and all this stuff. Yeah. So I saw it all over Twitter. People were buying tons of Pokemon stuff.
Nice.
I hadn't really played a Pokemon game like that for a while. So I was gonna be interested in getting into it, but I did not. I only played about an hour and a half, 2 hours of it, and Evan apparently played 30 more hours than that. So what are your thoughts on Pokemon Shield, Evan?
I'm enjoying it. I think I'm enjoying it at least.
You played 32 hours in 2 days.
I want to try to, and that's the problem because now I want to try to make sure all my thoughts are all in one place rather than all over the place.
That's fun.
So beat the main story arc of the fights and all that. Beat the after part for the legendary, and it's good. It's actually really good. It shows that they at least grew a little bit in terms of gameplay function, but it is Game Freak, so it's a decade behind on tech. So it's just more of the same, I guess.
One of their big revelations was that they have a free camera now in the wild section.
That's part of it, but the gyms seem to be more interactive. At least some of them seemed more interesting. The battle types that were set up were a little bit better. I know one of the gyms you have to beat someone who's you both are basically fighting one Pokemon, and whoever kills it first gets a point. That's kind of cool because you can kill their Pokemon and they're chucking sand at you to stop you from hitting it. There's really cool little functions that.
They streamlined a lot of stuff, right? So there's a lot of quality of life stuff in there.
What do you mean streamlined? Because it's definitely buggy as hell.
Is it buggy? Really?
Autosave crashes the game. Definitely turn that off.
It does. Interesting, because this was something that was going around where autosave would crash.
It happened to me live on stream, and then
really?
Yeah, but I only lost an hour of gameplay though.
An hour.
It was an hour of riding around in the wild looking at stuff. So I turned it off, and since then it's been fine.
It didn't do anything to any of your other games?
No.
It was just Pokemon? Yeah. Okay, because everybody was like, it's going to wipe your Splatoon progress. It's going to do this and that. I'm turning everything off.
Did they have autosave in the previous ones, or is this?
I don't think so. I think it's Game Freak 10 years behind. Everyone else's autosave. It's a normalized thing. They can't figure it out. So is our
revelation right now a free camera and autosave? Those are the 2 things.
For the most part.
The free camera works, right? That works fine, right?
It's okay.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah. It's in a zone where
I wish it went out a little bit more.
Yeah, well, you can if you right click, if you push the right stick in, it zooms out a little bit.
But I want woo.
But
the whole area.
But that's because you're in that zone and everyone's loading 2 feet from you. You're gonna be zoomed way back, just seeing all these people just pop, just all over your screen.
Yeah.
If you have online. I played I think 4 hours in, and I didn't even know you could go online. And then someone's like, yeah, if you press the menu and everything, you can just.
The online's not great.
You get free items, which is cool, but it's people will be there and then they disappear and then they reappear.
They're kind of there, but then you're being told where they're going and then you're watching them go that way until they leave your sight. The thing they showed us in the trailer where you all kind of show up at one of those little red beam things and you're like, let's all raid. No, that's not how that works at all. You
Really?
go there, you activate it, and then people see it pop up in their stickers if you're their friend or if you're on like whatever close region they're in. I spent 45 minutes today talking to someone to try to get them to start doing these raid battles with me. It was not fun, and I don't think many people use that because I'll usually sit in the lobby and wait to see if anybody wants to join in for like a 5-star raid of something that's not bad, and no one will join, so I'll just kill it myself.
Yeah.
It's how long do you think that main story was? Is it
main
okay?
story
Like,
was about 20, about 20, 22 in that range.
That's not bad, because this should be a fairly easy Pokemon game with EXP share all the time, right? Like that should be like
EXP share, yeah, but the big thing is those raid battles. When you beat the raid battle, it gives you a ton of candy for EXP.
Oh,
just a ton of it. The guy I was playing with today didn't finish the story, but he had a level 91 score bunny. And that's simply because of the raids. That's all he likes doing is just raids, and then he just
he didn't even evolve it. He just kept it at level 91.
Well, no, it's evolved, but it's level 91. Like he let it evolve all the way through because it doesn't. The main ones you get don't get overpowered by whatever their level is versus your badge. So he's just walking around one-shotting people like no problem.
Well, what did you pick in the beginning, Evan?
I picked Score Bunny, and then I got that full team that I think I tweeted out. Not the
I saw that. It was like 60s and 70s.
Not that one. I think I tweeted one before it, which was like one of the sheeps and a bird and stuff. And once I got a team that didn't involve Score Bunny, I was like, now we go. And then I just went through the game that way until I got all ghosts.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. So it's you're happy with it? You're middle on
I'm
it?
all right with it. The balance seems interesting. The battles actually seemed great. It didn't feel as brain dead as the prior ones that I used to play, just going through like the early stuff, because I know everyone's like, oh well, the late game's where it gets serious. I don't want it to be serious at late game. I want to enjoy it going forward. I want to be like, oh crap, Max survived, oh I got the kill. I want that early. I don't want that at the end.
Do you remember what the level is? What the level was for your first gym? Do you remember what the level?
No,
relative?
20s
that was
maybe
like
10s.
that's a
30s?
couple.
It was like 20s or something. Okay,
It's like a couple hours in, right, before you even get to your first gym. Right?
Yeah. Well,
Hours.
I feel like I fought my first gym like pretty relatively soon, and then I was like, I basically thought I was gonna be, I'm gonna be over leveled, because everybody was like, based off Pokemon, you should be okay, 13, 14. And it was like 21, 22. And I was like, oh my god, I was like almost struggling, because it's like one of my first Pokemons, and everybody else is like, oh my god, I didn't think it'd be that high. So then for water, because we ended right before fire, but then for the second one for water, I definitely like went through and grinded more, and then just was focusing on.
I don't think I grinded that much. I know I didn't grind too much in the actual fields. I mostly just did the trainers themselves, and then did just EXP gains, and that's it.
Who did everyone pick for their starters anyway?
Grookey Gang.
Bunny.
I went Grookey as well. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to go Grookey. He was the one that made.
Come on.
He made the most sense, so I had to go with him. He's the only starter that brought a weapon.
What, a
Thank
drum? That's what he gets eventually.
He's got two.
He's a taiko drummer in the end.
Hey, if of the three, one of them thinks to bring a weapon with them, they've seen some stuff. They got that instinct. They're like, I'm bringing a weapon.
Because Score Bunny is a weapon.
He's like, we're going outside. I'm bringing a weapon. You want him on your team.
Oh man.
What about Nate? Who'd you pick? Score Bunny?
I have not gotten the game yet.
Oh, I thought you were buying it on Friday.
Playing Blue Boy.
I was going to get it on Friday, and then my friend DM'd me saying, "Oh, I'll get you the game as a birthday gift," and I haven't heard from them since.
When's your birthday?
They're like, we're not friends anymore. I ain't getting you.
Friday. Happy early birthday.
No, like yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh wait, happy belated birthday.
Happy
I feel like a
birthday.
jerk.
So you're just waiting for it to be delivered then?
Yeah, he's like in Japan right now, so.
Oh, dude,
it
maybe
might
they
be
have
a while.
maybe they have like a cool special edition one there that he grabbed.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Oh, okay.
He'll probably just like DM me like a digital code.
Okay. Yeah, that works too.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that, but I was like, you don't have to get me a birthday gift, and he never replied to it, so I don't know if he like.
No, he was like, I'm off the hook.
Getting you it now, or he's gonna get it, so I don't know what to do, and I don't want to like message him, be like, so are you like getting me this game or not?
Well, which one did you tell them to get you?
He replied to my tweet where I said the voting was to get sword, so I would assume that.
Then get shield now, and then if they get you sword, you'll have both of them.
There you
I don't need both of them though.
You do. You even have two Switch systems, right? So you can trade them.
I don't know if I have friends with the game. I can trade with them.
Okay,
I mean, you can buy a sword, and if you get the digital code for it, do a giveaway on Nate the Hate.
No, see,
That's
there we go.
true. I could do that.
There we go.
Oh, maybe I'll go buy the game tomorrow then.
Okay, there you go. And you can get it physically, of course. So
that's true.
There you go. What about who are you picking, MVG? You haven't started yet, obviously, because we played Jedi.
Probably Score Bunny as well. I'll get around to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's closest to a kangaroo.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's definitely on the list of things to start for sure. So,
how do you feel about those visuals, Evan? Well, you've looked at it for 30-something hours. How are they?
Again, it's Game Freak. They still built it, I think, for a handheld. Like, it doesn't look great on a screen, but then when I was playing it in bed, like, it worked.
Am I the only one that thinks they don't look really that bad? I mean, I saw Digital Foundry's video.
It's not that it's bad. It's just that you see it and you see all the anti-aliasing and the jaggies and stuff in the larger screens, and you're like, all right, somebody's not having a good time here. Then when you're going around the wild zone and the frames are dropping, you're like, okay, something's a little off with this. But then you go to handheld, it looks a lot smoother. It actually looks really crisp on the basic screen for the Switch. It's nice.
I think the problem was I went from Luigi's Mansion to that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of Switch games that don't look great.
Oh yeah, no, there's absolutely a lot of garbage.
But they look
How big of a screen are you guys playing on? Are you on like a TV or are you on your computer?
John, was this the
28 inches? Same one I got here, right? The BenQ monitor.
The large one, the 4K one.
The one that does HDR.
Yeah. Both
yeah, that's the one I got here. 28 inch.
I think because I played offline for so long, I think the most frame drops is when you go online and you're playing with everybody.
There's definitely some problems with the loading.
Offline.
I did see some moving around some of the outer areas, but it wasn't that much.
When I play offline, there's no frame. There's barely any from.
Yeah,
when people were saying, "Oh, it drops." I was like, "Oh, are you guys playing online?" Oh yeah, I'm playing. I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like I never really like Pokemon X and Y kind of had like a feature to where you can like connect online and have people kind of just like pop up randomly and all that, but it wasn't as I guess in depth as this one. But I've never really been a big fan of turning that on while I'm playing because it's just like let me just get through the game. I don't want to have to deal with that. And I'll just go online. Like if I need to trade with somebody or if I need to do something, I can just go online and do something like at that time.
Yeah, I mean it's the best looking game that I'd say Game Freak has done. It looks better than Town, Little Town Hero. Although I at this point I'm convinced I'm the only person on the planet that bought that game.
Probably.
I don't know anyone else that bought it. I always talk to people and people are like, what Little Town Hero? Yeah, I don't know anyone else that bought that thing. They wouldn't buy it. Was it just me? I'm the only one that fell for it.
I'm waiting for the physical version just to put it on my shelf, to be honest.
It's just me. It wasn't that good. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll be curious to see what Game Freak can do with their next one, I guess.
Yeah, it's just we have to see it as it goes down the road as they maybe slowly move towards more.
I look at the visuals
everything.
and they don't blow me away, but they also don't disappoint me. It's just like I don't know. I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's Pokemon.
I feel the same with it as I did during Let's Go.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm like, that's kind of reminds me of Let's Go. Okay.
It's just it seems like some weird choices though from them because when you're going around the regular world and the camera's like almost all the way down and you're just kind of like looking off into the distance, the pop-in of the NPCs in the game, like during town movement, it still feels like it's Pokemon where the camera's above and you're kind of moving around and it's loading it in as you go, but you're actually seeing it happen. Like you're looking behind the curtain, walking into a town and it's like 6 people just appear as you walk over the bridge. Like,
I think I ran my bike into them. Yeah, I think I was randomly riding through and an Onyx load in. I'm like, oh my God, like couldn't go anywhere.
Dude, that is a game. I will say Pokemon, if they ever get to that point with like the next Switch or something, that's a game with that art style that would actually do really well with like HDR on it. That would be just because it's very colorful.
Yeah, it could be cool.
Probably look really good. But you're okay with the visuals, MVG. You're okay, right?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and I don't want to take over the show, but I want to rant a little bit about this because the whole thing last week with the internet, this week with the internet attacking developers,
the armchair deving.
Yeah, I mean,
I got Game Freak in the title for that.
Right.
We can go over that after Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, no problem.
I got you, man. I got a whole section for that. Don't worry. I know Nate. You can't see him, and Nate's ready to go too.
I'm ready to go too. I've got some notes here.
Nate's staring at the mask across his room.
I actually made a video on that one, so I mean, I guess I can go after them.
Oh man. Jedi Fallen Order though. I got it. You got it. MVG. Nate doesn't do Star Wars. He didn't get it. OJ might get it. We'll see.
Oh, I'm gonna get it. It's just,
OJ might be on that.
I'm
It's just
waiting for it
gonna
to
be
go
one
on
of those
sale.
games it's gonna be much better when you buy it for $29.99.
Exactly.
It's just gonna feel so much better when you get that quality for 20. You're like, oh man, I could have easily waited because there's so many games to play right now, man.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
There's so much. So it's
My
gonna feel
thought
so much
process.
better when you get that such a high quality game for that price.
Yeah, I had to get it because I could not believe what I was hearing, so I had to see it for myself.
Yeah, same.
This is an EA game that has no microtransactions and it's completely
is-
single player.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's completely single player, and there was no. I mean, the game released when the reviews released, right? So no one had any idea what the game was going to be like. And normally in those situations, it's usually it's going to be an average game, but the reviews came out and they were pretty damn good.
Yeah, I picked up the game at 9 p.m. Eastern because for some reason GameStop did it early. They did it 3 hours early than they usually do it at midnight. And I got there, people were already lined up for Pokemon, but then people were also lined up for Jedi. And I was like, oh, this is good. People are actually going to buy this thing. Yeah, so I go through, I'm out at like 9:03 or something. So I'm out of there, I go home, and I'm already playing it. So I've already put 2.5 hours in this game before those reviews dropped. And as we're going to midnight, I was like, I think this is going to be like a 8 to 9 game. Like it's going to get good reviews. And they come out, and yeah, IGN gave it a 9, and a bunch of places gave it good reviews. It is a good Star Wars game.
Yeah, I like it.
It is a mixture of, let's see, Sekiro, Metroid Prime,
Mass Effect,
Zelda, Darksiders,
Dark Souls.
All of these games are thrown in there in the mixer with lightsabers, and it spits this game out.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Uncharted.
Yeah.
Yes. Like there are actual dungeons in this game, and there is an item or power in that dungeon that then enables you to beat the rest of that dungeon, like a Zelda or even like a Darksiders kind of, the first one. And then you can take that power and go back to other planets, and it unlocks like more paths. And the upgrades that you get in those paths are actually good. Like I posted on Twitter, I don't know if you got to this part yet, MVG, but they're dual-sided lightsaber.
I've been watching a guy use
I haven't got that yet.
Dude, you get it. Like you go up there, it's an upgrade. It's on that first planet. So after you beat the second planet, go back to the first planet, and you can open it, and you toggle it. You hit right or left on the D-pad, and you either go single lightsaber or dual lightsaber.
It's cool because there seems to be positives and negatives to it. It has the faster flurries, but it's not as good for like counters and stuff. So.
It's crowd control. So if you have a bunch of bugs or enemies around you, and you turn that on, you all of a sudden just start rolling through everything, but it doesn't do as much damage to the bigger enemies. But this is it is a legit game, and I think it's kind of long.
Yeah, I heard 15 hours maybe as
for the straight playthrough, but I keep going to other things. I might get 25 hours, 30 hours out of this.
Yeah, if you wanna basically try to get as much as you can to 100% the game, you're looking probably like 30, 35 hours.
It might be a longer game, because I keep going back, and every time I get a new power, I go back to that first place, and there's something new to open up. And I'm getting a kick out of this game. And what's also weird is EA even let Respawn use Unreal Engine to make this game.
Yeah, that's very interesting that they did that, because I mean they were using Source, right, for Titanfall.
But I figured EA would have been like, yeah, to use Frostbite.
Yeah.
No, they wanted to make a good game.
I'm telling you, I think I know what this is. I think what this is just them showing Disney that they can make something like this. I'm almost convinced that that's what this is.
This is the worst
I agree,
moment.
but I also Vince Zampella, he's like a legend. I mean, if he basically comes out and says, "Hey, we're going to use Unreal for this," no one's gonna dispute that. I mean, he's like a living legend, that guy. I mean,
wasn't there? I mean, I know they probably fixed it, but like it still seems like Frostbite isn't great for like this type of game.
No,
like
it's not.
RPGs where you're getting different stuff, you're getting like upgrades and all that. Because like we saw what we heard about what happened with Mass Effect Andromeda. That game's UI and how that game operates is just complete trash. And
they used it for Dragon Age, right? They used it for Dragon Age too.
Yeah.
I remember there was a whole thing where I think it was Jason Schreier who got interviews with some of them, and they said that they had to make the camera for the game because Frostbite did not have a camera for it.
And
there's like no quality of life in Frostbite from what we keep hearing.
It didn't have menus. It didn't have menus for RPGs. Menus.
Like part of me thinks you go to boot it up to start making a game. It's just like a DOS prompt. You're like, oh shit.
Welcome, Trina. This is a new member. Thanks for becoming a member here. Evan still has those emotes and everything on. I don't know when you get new ones. I don't know how all that works.
I think we might have a couple more, but I'm waiting for one of the edits of Newswave to see you in a weird face, and I'm going to pull it off.
Okay, there we go. All right, very good. That's the weakness of being in front of a green screen.
One thing I want to say about Star Wars is the first kind of training level. That was kind of a little mundane. It was like, we've done this before, but dude, as soon as you get that lightsaber,
oh man,
oh my god, like the game just transformed into something just amazing.
It's like, so hard. I think people underestimate how hard it is to get a lightsaber right.
Yeah,
in these games.
Yeah,
they got it. Like, it's so much better than Force Unleashed. It is in Force Unleashed, it felt like you had a baton in the game and you're hitting people with that. This just cuts through people. Like, it doesn't like in Force Unleashed, you would hit somebody with it and they'd go flying backwards, they'd bounce off of it. You just straight up slice through them in this game. Nice. It is crazy. It sounds great. It looks great.
Leaves the scarring markers on stuff. It's
great. You can't dismember other people, but you can dismember creatures and bugs and insects. You'll cut them straight in half.
Yeah, from mouth to butthole.
But they wanted to get a teen rating on it, which it has it. So they can't cut people in half anymore like they used to.
You got to get a teen rating, because I'm seeing commercials with kids saying Star Wars. You guys seen those commercials that are popping up everywhere for like you got to be able to let kids play the game.
Yeah,
too.
So I get
buy
that.
the game. So
it doesn't necessarily take away from it or anything, but it's something you notice. You're like, I cut up all these stormtroopers and nobody lost an arm or something. Okay, all right.
Star Wars not really super violent anyway, like the movies and all that.
Yeah, it got a little more violent recently.
Totally didn't just destroy a school of younglings. You know,
where do you think it ranks as far as Star Wars games, John?
I think it's in the top tier. I think it's one of the best Star Wars games I've ever played.
Yeah, I would agree.
The only thing that bugs me in this game, they got to patch this thing. There are glitches, there are bugs. I've had to restart a couple of times. Like, there's a part later on where you get captured and they're supposed to put you in a room, and they put me in like nothingness. They put me in space, and I'm looking around, and I've clipped through the walls at this point, and I had to restart the game. But that's happened. I've clipped through walls. I've had weird glitches happen. The game's never crashed, which is weird. But I've had like 4 or 5 times where I had to restart the game completely from the. This is on the Xbox One X though. I don't know if it's different on the PC. I don't know if it's different on the PS4.
I've had similar issues.
People talk about the load times. MVG.
Oh man, I was about to get to that.
Okay, load times are issue too. I'm seeing it so long.
On PC, I've got a solid state drive, so loading was pretty good. But I'm not sure about
the load times are terrible on the Xbox One X. Oh, it's so bad. That's one thing I'm like, I can't wait till next generation. I'm sitting there looking at this load screen taking for. I think one of them was like 2 minutes long, straight up. And that doesn't sound like a lot of time, but you're sitting here looking at it. That's a long time. Like, if you're sitting there looking at it, you're like, oh, this is forever. And the problem is that's after respawning from dying from a boss.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's not even the first load. It's like you die and you're sitting there. But then sometimes it loads like super fast. So I don't know. I guess it depends on what's loaded in the memory, or who knows. But otherwise, the game it's good. And what's funny is, have you noticed this, MVG? You're going around the game, right? You're opening chests and you're going through and finding secrets. It's all cosmetic stuff for your lightsaber, your character, and your ship, right?
Yes.
Ooh,
and I'm sitting there, I'm thinking,
not loot boxes.
Were there microtransactions in this game planned at one point and they decided not to do it?
There was at some point.
There are so many cosmetics in this game. And every time you open a chest, you get a new color for your lightsaber, you get a new hilt, you get a new color for your droid, and it's a lot of stuff. I'm telling you, I think
they were gonna do it, dude.
I think they were gonna do it. I think there's probably a story there, maybe an internal struggle or something, where they were like, you can't do loot boxes. We gotta show this to Disney. Like, gotta be like, look, we can make a Star Wars game. We're gonna re-up this license because of this. It's like an 84 or something on Metacritic. It's straight up. People like it.
Yep. I'm not ready to forgive EA just yet, but if Need for Speed Heat and Star Wars is, the future, and Madden and FIFA can sit over here and they can charge whatever they want for.
Here's how I forgive EA. Okay, here's how we do it. They do Skate 4, and there are no loot boxes and there are no microtransactions in it. That would do it. I would be like, you know what? I'm back in with EA. I'm back. That would be it. But they're making some good progress here. I'll admit, I'm shocked right now. I bought a Need for Speed game and a Star Wars game this year, and neither of them were controversial.
Yep.
I cannot believe that.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing, and in the space of like a couple of weeks as well, right?
Yeah,
Both
Need for Speed
games.
Heat was fun too.
Yeah.
It was exactly what I was hoping it would be, which is just straightforward Need for Speed with terrible cutscenes.
What was your opinion on like the marketing for Star Wars? Because I feel like it kind of for a while like fell under the radar. Like
Big
at least
time.
for me personally, like I felt like it was super underrated in the way they marketed it.
It's
I
probably
think
tight
EA
budget.
realized it wasn't. Yeah, I don't think they were looking to push it as much as something like a Battlefront. And I think they were getting to the finish line. They were like, you know what? I don't know if this is going to sell that many copies. Or they decided their expectations were like so high, and they're like, we'll pull back on the marketing. I've seen commercials on YouTube. I think they had the actor who plays him do the rounds with like IGN and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but otherwise it wasn't anything too crazy. Not like definitely not in your face. Like they're not getting a Super Bowl commercial for this thing. Nothing like that.
Okay, I felt like I was under a rock or something. I was like, I feel like I should have saw more, but I understand if they didn't.
The story's not bad either, and it actually is canon. Like it takes place in the Star Wars universe. So
Okay, yeah.
like there are characters in this game that show up in the newer Star Wars movies, but they're younger versions of themselves.
Do you think it's going to sell well, this game?
I hope so. I'm hoping it can get to at least 5 million copies.
Maybe late for holiday.
It's probably midline sales until a big sale, because I think with everyone buying it early and going, it's actually really good, and then it goes to the $20 that OJ and Misclick want, then that's when it's going to hit, and everyone's going to buy tons of copies.
But this is it right here. This is their single player, no loot box, no microtransaction, straight up Star Wars. You got a lightsaber right away. Go ahead and start slicing things up game. And I'm like, I want this to do well.
I hope so too. I mean, Respawn they've struggled with sales, with Titanfall 2, and I mean Titanfall was pretty successful, but I'd like for them to actually get some sales on this game, and hopefully they will.
I think it's EA. I think the reason why this game doesn't, it's just because it's under EA. I'll be honest, man. I think it's just the stigma sometimes of EA just kind of and then also people are. I know we all talk about single player and we love that, but a lot of people don't buy games if it's not multiplayer. A lot of people just don't buy it. They just don't buy it if it's not multiplayer. Because Battlefront sells a lot. Even last year or the 2 years ago,
it does.
It was a disaster. But even when it got cheaper, what did people do? Rush out there and buy it. That sold a ton. Even at really cheap, So I think that's also another issue too. Why EA didn't go harder in with the marketing, as hard as they went with Battlefront.
I think if they could have put a more familiar face on the front of it, like they would have done a little better. Like if this guy's Jedi Master or whoever was training him was like Obi-Wan Kenobi or something, and something went wrong and they could put him on the front, it would have been maybe an easier thing to sell. But I'm just hoping the fact that there are lightsabers on the front of the box just sells it. That's all I can hope for. But it's been pretty good. It is. And you know what? I have confidence in Respawn if they want to keep doing single player Star Wars games, specifically these action oriented ones. Maybe get another studio to do another KOTOR or something. But I have confidence, and what I would like to see them do right now is go back and remake the Jedi Knight, Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight. I would love to see them go do that, because that game looks terrible and no one wants to play it now, but it was a very good game. So I would like to see them go remake that. Yeah,
that would be really good.
Yes, I have confidence at Respawn now. As long as they're allowed to keep using Unreal. I don't know what happens when they use Frostbite, but
we'll see about that.
That's what I'm thinking, because EA, I think this might be the last hurrah for these kind of games for EA, because they say they're going to do a lot of live service stuff.
They need to sunset Frostbite.
They won't.
Just get rid of it.
I wish, man. But I have a feeling that the development time for this game was a lot shorter because they used Unreal as well, and it seemed like there weren't as many issues that we would hear about in development or anything. So. I don't know. Oh, or do Republic Commando. Yeah, go get who you call it and do Republic Commando. Dice.
Do you think it's going to get a Game of the Year nom?
You know what?
How's the story?
I thought about it's actually pretty good. The full voice acting, the characters look pretty good in cutscenes, and it does, like I said, flow into the Star Wars universe. Like they definitely had Disney and others help write the story correctly, and we haven't got to see it like full circle yet. No, I feel like I'm 3/4 of the way through this game.
Okay.
Like I think I have almost all of my powers, and I have like a good bit of the skill tree filled out. So far it's been pretty good though. So we'll talk a bit about Game of the Year stuff in a second, actually. Oof. So I got some looks at that. Evan, we have any Discord questions?
I got one for Sean, but he's not here. So
What is it? We'll attempt to answer it.
Now that CM Punk is back on WWE programming, how long before he wrestles?
Before he wrestles.
A long time.
I'm going to say probably never.
He still has beef with Vince McMahon. He's only on the Fox show because Vince McMahon
Fox.
has no input on it.
Yeah, Fox is actually like who signed him, really. Fox, it's up to Fox, and they're going to be like, you just show up and we make money. So, I don't think he's going to wrestle. Another question?
Chance of Yakuza 7 going multi-plat now that the rest of the Yakuza stuff is coming to Xbox?
I'm going to say pretty high. Well, for release, probably low. For after release, probably pretty high, I'd say. I think it'll go to at least the Xbox. Yeah. And PC. I mean, PC first, probably, then Xbox, or at the same time. But we're actually going to talk about Yakuza in a second, too, at XO.
All right.
Yeah. That'll be an interesting topic since that just sort of popped up at XO.
Right.
Let me go through some of these super chats before we move over to some of the topics, including Game Freak, because everyone apparently wants to talk about Game Freak. Let's see. There we go. The Average Gamer says, thoughts on restricted catching levels in Pokemon. I guess that'd be mostly for Evan, but anyone else who wants to chime in on that?
It was weird at first, but the main thing actually mechanically that comes out of Pokemon that I really do like is, you know how in the older games you always have that like Victory Road place, that's where you go to kind of level your guys up, that's it. That's the whole Wildlands. It scales with you as it goes up. So while you're doing your badges, the Wildlands scale up too. So like it's just, it all works together eventually. It's just they don't want you to capture everything out there and go everywhere at first, because they want it to still feel like, I guess, the older stories where you're kind of compressed into an area trying to become the better Pokemon trainer, and it's just how it works out. It doesn't affect too much, honestly.
Okay. Skylar says, free super chat. Enjoy. Thanks, Skylar. Chinaman says, I have really enjoyed playing Pokemon Sword and Shield. Yes, it has faults. However, it also has great parts to it as well. I wish more people would be objective with it. Blanket says, free super chat. Oh gosh. Pablo says, Shawshank, the guy who ratted at OJ out.
I don't know, man. They don't know who it is, man. No, it's all good though, man. It's all good. It is what it is.
There's a string of messages here from Chinaman again saying Digital Foundry is a good example of being objective. They said Pokemon doesn't tally with the vision I'm sure most of us had for it. However, it's the most visually impressive Pokemon experience so far, and it's still plenty of fun. Just go into it expecting some limits. And then I wish members of the community would take to heart that just because the game has not met your own vision for it, that doesn't mean it's a bad game. The Average Gamer says, would you guys be open to inviting Gerard from the Completionist to join the panel? His insights would work well with you guys, and he's funny. Sure, Gerard can come on anytime he'd like. Justin says, you the man, OJ, keep your head up. I'll be on Twitch.
Thank you, bro.
Suppa says, best way to describe new Pokemon is 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Game is better than Sword and Shield, but not as good as X and Y. Give it a solid 8 out of 10.
I highly disagree with that.
I didn't play X and Y, so I can't compare, but it is handheld versus console, so I don't...
I put a ton of hours into X and Y. The streamlined elements in terms of like being able to carry Pokemon anywhere that you want in a box is god tier.
So you don't have to go back to the you don't have to go back to the PC then.
No,
you can just have it anywhere that you want. You can just carry the Pokemon.
See, I like that. That sounds nice. Yeah.
The online where X and Y started the whole where you can connect anywhere. I mean, if you think the one in Pokemon Sword and Shield isn't good, go back and play X and Y's online. Like that one's even more convoluted and worse. I disagree. I think Pokemon Sword and Shield is much better than that, but it's all good. That's his opinion.
Saul says, keep up the great work, guys. Love the SpawnCast. Thanks, Saul. Suppa says, better than Sun and Moon. Rip $2. Packers says, here's $2 Spawn. Enjoy your videos. Thanks, Packers. Trip and Fall says, predict the next AAA game to be ported to Switch. I'm gonna say Apex Legends.
Let me get back to you on that one. I'm not sure yet. There's a few choices there.
Yeah, I'm going Apex Legends on that one.
Oh.
If anyone else has any guesses before we move on.
I got nothing.
Okay.
You know something? You know something? Like about Apex. I mean, have you heard something about that or?
No, what? No.
No insight info.
It's just the logical thing for that game to be on all things, including cell phones.
I think that would be
possible.
interesting though, because it's kind of atrocious every now and then to play on PC.
Did I say I said Apex Legends? I meant let's see. Where else? Anyone else have any other AAA guesses? Nate, you got a guess?
No, whenever I guess it's going to be taken.
Sekiro on Switch.
What's that, Nate? Did you say Final Fantasy VII Remake? What?
Yes, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it will get Chapter 2 exclusively for 4 years.
Oh man! What about? I heard
Persona, right?
I heard GTA 6 was coming over. Right?
Yeah, I think that's like a, what is that? It's like a 1 year exclusive according to those November direct rumors.
There we go. We're in. All right, good.
Metro. I'm gonna say Metro.
Metro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Metro.
Red Dead Redemption. There's mine.
All right. The first one.
First one, not the second.
First one. They would do something like that.
They did LA Noire, so you know.
Can we count Manhunt 1 and 2 as a double pack, and then Manhunt 3 is coming?
There you go. That'll work.
See?
Yeah.
Hey, people laughed when I said Deadly Premonition 2. I didn't say that. Sean says a SpawnCast panel at Too Many Games 2020. Yes, I think we're going to do that, and there's a chance that we have a panel somewhere else as well that will be announced later on.
Yeah, that's if we fill out the application form.
Maybe I already did, and maybe
I guess they didn't need like everyone else's information.
Maybe no, because I was asking to see if I could have more than 6 people on the panel. There you go.
Just be like everyone at the convention.
Everyone's here.
First 2 rows, all mic'd.
Yeah. Hey man, when the SpawnCast travels, it travels. Dave says Wyatt called Pokemon. Those are the questions right there. Metacritic is great. I love Metacritic.
Yeah, didn't that review give it a 0 out of 10 too?
Yeah, man. Wyatt called Pokemon.
Such quality user reviews on Metacritic.
The life-changing questions over here. Matthew, no message. Thanks, Matthew. Melvin says, press F to pay respect for Pokemon. This is Spaxter says this is my mandatory backflip reference. J2 Blue says it's crazy how the least controversial game this November was an EA game. That's true.
There you go.
That's a good point. People didn't even have to talk about EA much this November.
It's that lack of marketing, dude.
I'm telling you. Sometimes if you're not being talked about on YouTube, it's probably a good thing. For game companies like EA.
Apparently they're fixing Anthem as well. Did you hear that?
Oh, if they can fix that, I'd be shocked. That might.
What's an Anthem?
EA's building a time machine right now.
Somehow they figure that out. I'm gonna be shocked.
That's crazy if they fix that game and it comes and it's like amazing. Oh my gosh, I'd be shocked.
Matthew Hammond says Amazon Japan had Pokemon with the top 6 slots. I believe OJ was going over that.
Yeah, it's top. Yes. I think it was top 6 or 7. Top 7 slots.
Yeah, those sales will be interesting. We'll find out more about that on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yes, and we'll find out some UK stuff tomorrow night / Monday morning. So, Just says eat Slowpoke in this game, but maybe import Kanto. Yeah, apparently you eat Slowpokes now.
Yep.
Huh?
Interesting. It's apparently you eat their tails. They grow them back like Piccolo, apparently.
Yeah, they have like a Slowpoke. It's like part of one of the national curry decks. The tail. Falls off.
Pablo says, as a guy.
It's space.
I love Slowpokes.
Pablo says, as a guy who has played Pokemon since Ruby. Oh, okay, yeah, Ruby. Blue, red, yellow, and put 972 hours. I'm sorry, I saw that number. It was like 972 hours. Okay, into Y. Just Y. Pokemon Shield is good, but yeah, a lot of room for improvement.
I agree.
There's a lower ceiling for competitive too. I was talking to someone about it who had to put 600 hours into an old game to get a competitive team, but this one, because of how they have it set up with vitamins, a lot quicker.
Sweet says, just want to support one of the best podcasts out there. You guys are great. Thanks, Sweet. Dr. Claw says, played since Gen 1. This was the highest level first gym. Yeah, I heard it takes a while to get to it. So that and EXP share on, I could see that. Jeremy Novak says, the guy with the Pokeball head will haunt my dreams forever.
That guy's awesome. Not really, but.
Matthew McFetter says SpawnCast and Sacred Symbols are the best gaming podcasts. Thank you, Matthew. Ziljan says, do you really think EA will keep Need for Speed and Star Wars microtransaction free? We all know they're waiting for nice reviews and then going to ruin it. I think Need for Speed will probably go back to it, unfortunately. But
yeah, but I think Star Wars will stay as is.
I almost feel like they just want to do a Star Wars game like that occasionally and then hit us with Battlefront just to mess us up. Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's a good thing though for their company to kind of put those kind of games out, you know. So the Robot Chicken says Fallen Order sounds cool. Maybe I'll spend the money I would have spent on Pokemon on that instead. You just gotta decide because they're two different games. One's an action game. One's like a RPG. Kind of depends on. It also depends on how many people you know of Pokemon. Probably
one has a social aspect. One is a single player. So
there you go. Gage says blame the higher ups, not the hardworking game devs. That's true. I think a lot of it is mostly. I always say don't blame the devs, blame the people managing the devs. So blame the suits. It's always their suits. And then we'll finish with this one and come back after this. Says Demolition Man says Game Freak needs to use the Unreal Engine next game.
That'll fix everything.
That'd be.
I would be interested to see them try it because I feel like they would, their computer would short circuit.
No, I feel like the basics for it would they install it, look at it, and go, "We have no idea how to use this."
Game Freak is a funny developer. I'm telling you.
They should do it. They fix everything. That just make everything.
I almost feel like the Pokemon might look kind of horrifying if they look too realistic.
Nah, man. Next Pokemon's gonna have ray tracing and everything. Just wait for it.
Up into the quality of a freaking Detective Pikachu movie. Everything.
Well, let's move over to Game Freak real quick, and then I'll hit the super chats again before we finish up. How many Discord questions do we have left, Evan?
2. I'm trying to break down one of them. The other's easy though.
Okay, very cool. Let's move over to Game Freak because they were under fire for like the last, I don't know, 4 months. But
6 months, year.
It's been a while, yes. They've been getting beat down quite a bit. But let's this past week or so, I guess when the game leaked and then it got data mined. First of all, I'll say this to Nintendo: stop holding back review copies because the game leaks anyway, and then everybody who's pirated their Switch and then downloads it plays it before reviewers.
It makes my job more difficult.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, unfortunately, there is so many modded Switches out there in the wild, and it's just inevitable that this is going to continue to happen, and there's really nothing you can do about it. And that's really the reality of it. You try to contain these things, and you know, it just. You can't. I mean,
it is kind of funny because their reasoning for the whole like no review copies is that someone leaks it, but now it feels like the people producing it are maybe the ones that leak, like the ones that make the copies. So it's like, do you just not make physical copies anymore?
There's an actual incentive to leak these things now because there might. I'm sure there's probably even money in it. To be honest.
100%.
I'm sure for them though, they'd just rather not have someone that's under contract do it at least.
Yeah. So it's because they always break street data. It's probably worth it to whoever's in a mom and pop store somewhere if they're offered so much money or so. I don't know how all these things work in the black market of game leaks. I don't know, but it's definitely annoying to see that. And then it of course gets we had data mines happen. These things are wireframes. I'm looking at them. I don't know. Okay, they're model wireframes. I don't deal with Maya or Blender or any of that. But people were saying they looked exactly the same, and I was looking at them and there were differences, so I was a little confused on that one.
Yeah, because some data miners said that they were the same when they clearly were not the same, and you know that's the thing that's one of the things that really bugged me about what was going on last week. And there's other things as well that I saw happen. I know Nate made a video about one of those things as well. So yeah, I mean there was just so much stuff going on this week that was just most of it was just I think trolling and a lot of misinformation was being said. I saw like information about how someone was complaining that the code was encrypting and decrypting 100 times before a battle had started. Mm-hmm. And it was very clear to me that this person has zero knowledge of Nintendo Switch development and the crypto requirements necessary to make games work. And then the other thing, and I'm sorry I'm getting ranty about this because I really want to talk about this. The other thing that really bugged me was bringing Iwata into the argument as well to boost their viewpoint. I mean, just completely inappropriate and gross, quite honestly. I mean, don't do that kind of stuff, guys.
I think I must have missed that tweet.
Yeah, it was.
There was a number of people doing it. Actually, it wasn't just like one idiot. It was a number of people that were copying somebody else than somebody else.
That's
not like everybody, but I saw what MVG was talking about.
Well, I think at that point you can chalk it up to it probably being like kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I doubt anyone who is like, you know, like
but then
older
again,
is like.
But then again, you think about it. Sometimes some of these people are like, we got people, 27, 28, 29.
I mean,
crying like babies over this Pokemon game. Like no joke.
Yeah.
Like in everybody's communities, like people that are old that are crying more than kids are. So you never know.
It's a really weird trend. I'm not a big fan of it.
So the wireframes apparently weren't all the same. Is that the correct analysis there, MVG?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was differences there. I mean, it's easier to kind of to compare like a couple of them and say, oh, look, they're exactly the same. But I mean, if you look at them as a collective, I mean, there were definitely differences there for sure.
This was based on a translation as well, right? Because I'm starting to get concerned about translations now. Whenever we quote them, we had that Kojima one. Apparently, he didn't say flying higher or something.
Yeah.
And by the way, how does Kojima keep getting mistranslated? Is it because he keeps talking with like everyone around the world and they translate the thing 4 different times?
Yeah,
He's literally on Twitter like every single day of his life.
And his tweets aren't even translated correctly. His English tweets come off completely different than the accurate translations of his Japanese tweets.
It may be related to him using maybe more like local terms for Japan, like how we have colloquialisms and then he uses them, but then someone like, how the hell do I say this in another language? So they try to like make it
version
work.
You can, but it loses some subtleties to it, and then it's actually coming off completely different than what it was originally being conveyed.
I'm still trying to explain the joke for too long.
I still feel like I would write it down and be like, are you sure? Are you sure? I'm gonna go ahead and erase that because that doesn't sound like somebody in PR has to look at that, like their public relations, and be like, let's not do that. Let's not put that translation out there. I feel like there could have been better public relations with them and Game Freak even for some of this stuff. I think it's just more or less just that the ability to communicate to the audience. I
mean, the problem with the Game Freak thing is like the interview everyone cites wasn't even picked up by Western outlets for almost like a week after it came out in Japan. And then you got some quick translations and you see articles on various websites that all have the general same idea, but how they reported it were radically different conclusions. Like I saw a tweet that comes from a localizer who looked at that interview and he says what Game Freak was actually saying with the models is they didn't say we were redoing all the models. They said we're redoing some Pokemon models. Well, that's radically different from Game Freak saying we didn't reuse any assets or models that was originally going around several months ago. If they're just saying we did redo some models, well, we have evidence of that from some of the frame rigs. I think that's different from saying we redid 400 models and that's why we couldn't do the national dex. Because them going back and saying, well, we added a throat to Pikachu that wasn't in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Well, that fits what they said. And now it just became such a hodgepodge of misinformation that now no one knows what the actual truth is.
I think I look at this Game Freak and kind of go into this. I almost feel like that rumor that was going around is correct. You know which one I'm talking about, Nate, right? I'll explain it.
It's possible, but it seems like so many things had to happen for that to actually be true.
I feel like if it wasn't true, all the Pokemon would just be in this game. Because so the rumor is, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure OJ heard it. The rumor is that they had a conversion tool for the 3DS models that were already like way higher resolution than what was needed for the 3DS in the hopes of having them future-proofed. And there were some issues in transferring them over with this tool, and they had to decide what to do, and they ended up cutting Pokemon to get it out on time because you don't delay a Pokemon.
I believe it. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like software development to me. I mean, there's nothing there that you just said that surprises me at all. Like things like that do happen.
Do you know what that concerns me though? Because it's either Game Freak was not completely transparent about it, which I guess they kind of still weren't, or they were just incompetent about getting Pokemon done.
But how do you get that message out in a good kind of PR way?
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's the problem.
Sorry, everybody. We suck.
If you start talking about the importer broke down and we couldn't load them in, I mean, no one cares. That doesn't mean anything to the the average fan. So
that's true.
Yeah, you really have to be careful.
I mean, they did kind of say we had to rebuild some of these models. I mean, they technically said that.
Sounds like they're just trying to choose their battles, to be honest.
Because now the argument would shift to people saying, well, you had the original 151 from Kanto transfer with Let's Go. So why didn't you have all of them at least in Sword and Shield? And if they came out saying, well, we didn't want to have all of those in Sword and Shield and then have a smaller percentage of each other region, now it's just another PR nightmare.
Well, how similar is Let's Go and Sword and Shield? Because even Digital Founders talking about how Sword and Shield looked way better.
I think they used
was better technically.
For the Eevee and the Pikachu and Sword and Shield, I think they used the that almost voiceover for them, because I remember hearing it where it's sharp, because you hear the older ones and it sounds like almost Gen 1 high bit rate or really bad bit rate sounds. Then as it goes up, you start hearing it get sharper and sharper, and then you see a Pikachu and it appears just like, yo, I'm Pikachu. You're like, whoa, okay. That's
I still think there's probably some way they could actually say it to fans, because I mean, we had Metroid Prime 4 delayed and people didn't get mad about it really.
Not just delayed, scrapped and restarted.
Yeah, I feel like there would have been some way, because it's not like they were delaying the game. A game was still going to be there. It was just not going to be maybe what everyone wanted at the time for what the national decks. So I think there was probably some issue in development, and Game Freak had to choose what to do.
I agree.
And they're not delaying that game. Those games are so much less in terms of revenue compared to merchandise, and the merchandise depends on the video games. Video games depend on the merchandise, the cards, the anime, all this stuff works together. It's not getting delayed.
Game Freak cannot delay a Pokemon game, especially at the beginning of a new gen, when the Pokemon company is pushing the anime, the cards, all the other merch. The game has to come out. The show started in Japan the same week as the game released. That is intentionally planned. That is planned months and months in advance. They can't get down to the final hour and say, we need another 6 months. The Pokemon company will say, no, you're releasing the game. Too bad.
Yes. And basically they would have gone back. If they're redoing models, they would have told Creatures they got to redo models. Creatures would have been working on that. And then I guess Pokemon or Game Freak would have been actually working to build the game, and then Creatures would have sent them models. So it was it's a whole thing going on just to get it all done. But the other thing is I did see some people talk about, we'll just get another studio to do it. And it's like Game Freak owns 30% of Pokemon.
It's their IP.
Yeah, they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna be like, oh yeah. Well,
they're not gonna give up the IP that made them what they are.
Yeah, they're gonna keep doing it. I've seen what happens when you take Pokemon from Game Freak, and I played it, and that was Little Town Hero. Don't do anything other than Pokemon. So we'll see. I'm hoping they do get better, but we'll see.
I mean, they're going to patch the game, aren't they, right?
About patches. Game Freak apparently isn't known for a ton of patch history.
Yeah, but they have to put home in 4 months?
They have to put home in, right? That has to become compatible. But from what I've gathered and what people have been saying, what they didn't patch Sun and Moon to do certain things with compatibility. I hope because it's the Switch, it's different. Wait, did Let's Go get patches?
Let's Go got some updates.
It got an update, right?
It did get but nothing major. I mean, there's still no Pro Controller support.
That kills me.
Yeah, there's still no Pro Controller. It didn't.
They're gonna have to fix the autosave thing, though, right? They're gonna have to.
They'd have to fix autosave, definitely. It's a problem.
That is that issue is there's an inherent issue with SD card saves on the Switch with ext fat. I don't want to get technical, but there's some issues there with corrupted SD cards that have happened before, and I'm not necessarily saying that this is their problem. I think this is something that Nintendo will need to address with ext fat memory cards, or SD cards, I should say.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, I guess, with Game Freak going forward, but we'll see if they get any better with their development.
Going forward, I think they're fine. If you look at X and Y to what we got with Sun and Moon, the jump is pretty substantial. I suspect the same will be when they come out with the inevitable third version, probably Pokemon Lance or whatever, in either next year or 2021. We'll probably see a decent leap in what they actually get out of this engine because they're going to be more in tune with it. It's not going to be, well, this is really our first foray into HD development. Now we have a little more under our belt between Town, Let's Go, and Sword and Shield. And remember, Sword and Shield is their A team. So the amount of work that this particular team probably had with Let's Go was minimal. So this is really their first HD test. And now they have a little experience under their belt. So the next game will really be the opportunity for them to say, hey, we understand things better now. Now maybe that game will have the full decks, or it will have just a substantially more Pokemon in it. But hopefully we do see a leap like we saw with XY to Sun and Moon. And we can finally say, hey, Game Freak is learning. Or they became a little more, I guess, skilled at their own engine, and we can get away from calling them just a bunch of incompetent losers who don't know how to develop a video game.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, I always say just they gotta show it. So we'll see it in the next one, I guess. You think they're gonna do you think they're gonna do Let's Go Gold and Silver?
I don't
But
know.
Diamond and Pearl was
What's next
supposed
for
to be
Pokemon?
next.
Diamond
There's
and
a lot
Pearl.
of rumors about a Diamond and Pearl.
Let's go Diamond and Pearl. All right, here we go.
No, let's go. Please, no. No, let's go. No, let's go. Just give us Diamond and Pearl. Like, with all the cool upgrades and adjustments, like, that would be really fun. Gen 4 is my favorite gen, so...
They rework it with the live world that changes with you. They add in the little features.
Prepare for disappointment.
Open world box. It'd be great.
John. Stop.
Oh man, I might have just jinxed it. I'm sorry. Everyone.
No, you didn't. No. There's nothing. You didn't say anything at all. What's the next topic?
Oh man, you want to hit us with a Discord question? We'll move into XO19, Evan.
What 3DS games do you see becoming rare or expensive in the future?
3DS games?
Yeah.
Bravely Default.
I mean, you always think of like the RPGs, right?
Yeah,
That's
Bravely Default. They've already confirmed that's actually there's a new Bravely Default franchise game. Square Enix has already said they're working on there's something. They've teased it like a bunch of times, so that'd be like the one that I would think they would announce for next year at some point.
Bravely Default might not be a bad one. What about Tales of the Abyss? How much is that one on 3DS? That one getting any more expensive?
No, that one, it was expensive at first, and then it got a reprint, and then the prices crashed.
Okay. I mean, I guess nothing really with the Nintendo Select stuff. I guess that's probably never going to be rare. I would just go for any of the weird RPGs that you can find. I still think Tales of the Abyss could get eventually rare, like down the road. I'm talking like 15 years from now or something.
Yeah, it's weird to think about. I feel like it's so far out almost.
I will say the Pokemon games generally keep their value. So all the Pokemon games, I guess.
Heart Gold and Soul Silver, those are actually really expensive.
Yep.
Physical.
Especially if you have the Pokewalker with it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I always say keep the Pokemon games because they always get expensive. Do we have another Discord question, Evan?
This one, we talked a little bit about it, but where do you draw the line for censorship being censorship or just a localization translation problem? They cite a joke from Xenoblade 2, which, I don't know, maybe OJ knows, where they change the term turtle head into one-eyed monster, which makes the joke, actually work in English.
I mean, yeah,
it's a localization thing, right?
Yeah, it's a local. We see this type of stuff all the time. There's a lot of dialogue switched around for like Tokyo Mirage Sessions and stuff. I mean, otherwise it wouldn't make sense. Sometimes you see when there's bad translations, it just doesn't make sense. What was it? Ease 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. Horrible translation. Nothing made sense in that game. And they actually had
They had to redo it.
They had to redo the whole thing. Like, we're sorry, this doesn't make any sense. The game was good, but made no sense. So there's always gonna be stuff that's switched around and stuff,
Google Translate didn't work for that one.
No, it didn't work for that one. So we have this really good game, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Let me go over to Streamlabs with Ibrahim, who said, I've been back to Pokemon with X and Y and played every release since, and after playing 11 hours of Pokemon Sword so far, I gotta say this is the most fun I've had with a new Pokemon game since coming back to the series. P.S. The music in the game is amazing.
It's really
all
good.
right.
It's a good game.
It's alright.
Team Yell music was awesome.
Sometimes it gets but sometimes it gets a little tedious when you've compressed it into 32 hours of your life.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but
the games are a lot easier to play. So I mean, they're a lot easier to play. They're a lot more streamlined. The older games can be very tedious to play. Like just going through them.
I still love the
go
gym
back and play
variety.
Diamond and Pearl. It's so slow. Yeah, it's such a slow game if you play Diamond and Pearl.
I still love the gym variety too, and this one specifically. I don't know because the last one I played was Black, and it was enjoyable when you get to one of the final gyms and it's all 2v2. That's all it is. Like you have to do 2v2 for the whole gym. It's just kind of fun, like to mix it up like that.
Mm-hmm. Let's move over to XO19. Did anyone watch that?
Yes, I streamed the whole thing.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool.
It was surprisingly better than last year, and it was pretty decent. Like
it was definitely better than last year.
It started really loud for no reason, but
it started slow, and I was like, here we go again. You know, it's going to be the same old.
Yeah.
But they came pretty good. I mean, I think you made the point, John, about how they really need to finish strong with something, and I agree. But otherwise, I thought it was.
They got to work. They got to work on that closeout. I mean, I'm sure people were excited for Wastelands 3, but I think a lot of people. I mean, if they hit us with like, oh yeah, Fable or something's coming for next gen, just something like that to close out, because otherwise they're going to probably show it at E3. We assume
that would have been nice, like a Fable.
Or if they just closed out with more, even more Halo Infinite.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Halo Infinite would have been nice.
I mean, we got our because we have our doubts for Halo Infinite right now. There are doubts going right now. So that would have been good to see that.
I think that game's going to be amazing when it comes out. I personally feel like they're really
Halo
putting
Infinite?
all their, because they've been talking about forever. They really I think they're putting everything they got into it.
We have concerns about development right now, but
I mean, lots of games go through development hell though. So.
Have you seen a different game than we have? Because we've seen a bunch of trailers, man. That's what we've seen.
I just want to see that new engine actually work. So. I mean, we feel like it has to be ready, but let's go through some of the announcement. Obsidian had Grounded, which I will admit it doesn't look like a game I'm going to play, but it looked like a survival game where you're shrunk down to the size of like a bug.
Yeah. I was like, this is a Bug's Life, dude.
Yeah, and they apparently that's by their but it's by like their second team. That's not by like their main team. It's just one they've been kind of kicking around with. Like I think 12 people are making it or something. So everyone else is moving to the next big RPG that they're going to do for next gen. They're already hiring for it. So that's already happening. Don't Nod at Tell Me Why will be available in the summer. Rare's new IP is Everwild, which you know what? I looked at that.
Yeah,
I want to see more.
Don't
of that.
know any gameplay or what kind it is.
I'm on board with it. Like initially, I was like, why don't you just go back in your catalog and pull something out that someone everyone's gonna love, like Banjo or.
Kills me that they leave those IPs just on the table.
Yeah, but the more that I saw of the new game, I was like, yeah, I can see that. It looks pretty cool.
What's interesting is that game is. I don't think that's going to be on the Xbox One.
No, that's a Scarlet game.
Yeah, it's a small team right now, and then eventually more people will move over.
Yeah, that's a Scarlet game.
I was thinking it's going to be like cross-gen, just because it's like.
Well, apparently it's apparently like 2 or 3 years off. Like it's gonna it's gonna be
a very small team right now.
They showed us like a little CG trailer, and
that's too.
I hope that's a third person. I really hope it is.
Do you see what I'm saying, OJ? Why did they show us that, but not Fable at the end of the thing to close out when they're both probably going to come out the same year?
I thought it was going to be like next year, but you guys are saying 2 to 3 years. But there's no need to show it that early. Then, like, what's the point?
That's what I mean. I don't know. Unless the only other thing they're working on is Sea of Thieves, and they're like, "We'll show them that Rare's doing something else too." And
because they announced the new update for that, so they're kind of like split right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Everwild looks interesting. I need to see gameplay and stuff, obviously, but I'm alright with the art style. Looks alright. All the Final Fantasy games going to Game Pass next year, like everything. Like
Kingdom
Hearts 1 and 2,
7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 2. 12.
The only problem that I have is that having Final Fantasy Lightning Returns actually devalues Game Pass, in my opinion.
Oh man,
that's the only issue I have. I think it actually devalues Game Pass, but hey, other than that, great. At 13 is.
I think there's gonna be a lot of people who try Final Fantasy 7 just because it's there, and Final Fantasy in general. It's like, oh, I'll try this now because it's on Game Pass. That'll be cool. So I hope people who have never tried a Final Fantasy just try it because it's there. Yep. My friend Pedro, Witcher 3, Streets of Rage 4 are all also going. Rage 2, that was an interesting one. Rage 2 is going to be on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. I never picked it up when it came out because
I liked Rage 2. Okay, a lot of people weren't. I liked it. I thought it was good. I played through it. It wasn't that long actually. It was like 15 hours, I think. It wasn't bad. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition is also out.
Jordan in chat. Did someone say Game Pass?
Yeah. And for just $1, they did announce that, and they said it just like that.
3 months for $1 or something.
Yeah,
right?
Game Pass Ultimate. There you go. Get on it.
3 months for $1.
Man.
I will admit, I was surprised that Yakuza is going there. Zero, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2. I was actually very surprised to hear about that. Early 2020 on Game Pass. Mostly because I thought it would have gone to the Switch before the Xbox. Like that shocked me a little bit. That was a little surprising. But it also, I guess, gives some hope for Switch owners that Yakuza could end up going to the Switch as well, like that. I know they're still mad about the Wii U version or something. I don't know, but that could always happen. Were you surprised, Nate, about Yakuza?
No, not really.
I know you weren't actually surprised, but like when you heard about it before everyone else heard about it, were you surprised?
It was a cool announcement to see. My first thought was this was the Japanese support we wanted to see Microsoft get at the start of the generation and not at the end of the Xbox One generation. But hopefully this is a sign of things to come with Scarlet, that they're going to have like Yakuza and Square Enix all on board right away. And you're going to see a lot more of a Japanese presence on a Microsoft system. Because if they can get these type of games on Scarlet and Sony kind of loses a little of that market, obviously it's only going to affect the Western releases, but that would be a nice get for Microsoft moving forward.
They're gunning for Samsung for the best Blu-ray player in Japan. All right, come on.
Well, don't forget Fantasy Star Online, right? Next year. So, you know.
And they're bringing that everywhere. They're bringing that to all platforms, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I can't believe it was. What timeline is this that it was Microsoft that brought that game over? That's crazy.
Man. Yeah,
that's crazy. And they got the Kingdom Hearts games 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, all that going to Xbox as well. It's very strange, but it is. I mean, it is the Japanese sport that they've been looking for, and I don't know. Phil Spencer did make those trips over to Japan quite a bit. Maybe he's making those deals. I don't know.
Oh, he's making deals for sure. He alluded to it during the. Okay.
That had to have I think that had to have cost him some money. The Final Fantasy games, Yakuza,
I think all that cost
Kingdom Hearts, that had to cost them quite a bit of money.
They got to pay for the port. I mean, development's not, even if you're just porting the game, it's not cheap.
Because Capcom told us it was $18 million to get Devil May Cry 5 on there that soon. They told us that in their fiscal report.
Oh, that was like what, 6 months?
A brand new game.
But. Yeah, that was a brand new game, basically 6 months. But I mean, it still had some value. I mean, these are older games, right? But still, it's like. It's a lot of older games, thrown in there. So
I mean, I don't know. Kingdom Hearts is kind of particular, man. You even have the wrong cutscene up on YouTube still, and they're blocking your video.
Yeah, I think that's probably. Is that Disney? That Disney coming for people?
I got it from Disney. I got it from Square.
Oh,
it's like
man.
all over the place, dude. They're
Kingdom Hearts a little bit rough. That's why I just stopped. I mean, I covered it. They copyright. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I wasn't
even having fun playing the games. I was like, I'm good. Never gonna cover this again. I'm like done with Kingdom Hearts forever.
It's hard to upload that stuff.
Yeah.
It was I'm a little surprised. Is that the first time we've seen Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 on another platform other than Sony's?
Yes.
Yeah. I think so.
Because I remember we were all like, there was speculation that there was something with the music tied in with Sony or something. I guess that's not true. So, hey, there you go. There's more hope for Switch owners. You could see Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Those would move straight over probably without too much issue. So you could see that as well. Could see Yakuza and Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 on there. Maybe 3.
They're going to port Dream Drop Distance exactly. It's going to just be Dream Drop Distance from the 3DS.
They're just going to remove it from 2.8 and just put it on there.
Just Dream. No, I'm talking about like the 3DS version.
Oh,
I'm talking about the 3DS version. Just dropped on the Switch.
Controls don't even worked around.
What that Digital Foundry video? It's running at 240p.
There'll be a box that you can buy and store with it's an empty box.
But as long as it's not Chain of Memories, I'll take that.
And then we had, I think the other really big one, Bleeding Edge. I don't know about Bleeding Edge myself.
Those character designs are hot ass, dude. Those are hot.
I'm just not that sold
character
on
designs, bro.
I think Bleeding Edge is going to come out and it's going to be on Game Pass, and I'm going to be like, That's all right. And I'm just gonna move on. I don't know. It's out in March 24th. What?
That's like the Overwatch-ish looking battle arena one, right?
Yeah, supposedly
Yeah,
some
the girl has like the T-Rex arms. She's running around like this.
Supposedly some of the people. Supposedly some of the people testing it. Yeah, but supposedly some of the people testing it are saying the gameplay is really good, but I don't know because we've only seen trailers, right?
It comes out 4 days after Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal.
Yeah,
right?
but I hope there's not a lot of crossover between those groups of people. That's kind of weird.
Maybe.
But why wouldn't I just play Doom Eternal?
You'll probably
Because
finish
you
it
want
in
to
like
walk
48
around
hours.
an arena as this weird creature. With
Well, I mean,
a
Doom
sword.
Eternal took out the arena battles, so you got to get them somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
you got to get your
true.
fix somewhere else with
That's true.
weird ass game.
Or I can just play Halo Reach because that's coming December 3rd.
Yeah.
Just go back to Halo 3, man. It's fine. Just
It's
There's a lot of controversy.
supposedly.
No one else wants to play Halo 3 with me. I play Halo 3 like every other night.
he hops in queue, watches it
He's
tick
so
up to 1
lonely.
hour, then goes to bed.
No, it finds matches immediately. It's quick. People still play Master Chief Collection a lot.
I did pre-order the Steam version, so yeah, I'm on board.
Do you guys like Reach? Do you guys all here like Reach?
I do.
Nope.
I like Reach.
No, I'm all right with Reach. The problem with Reach is it went too Call of Duty for me because that was when Halo was battling Call of Duty quite a bit, and they were like,
They added
"We'll
in
put
the
perks in."
classes, technically,
And I
yeah.
was like, oh. But I did like the way it looked, and I liked the story.
Okay.
The story was good because it was literally the fall of Reach. So I like that. That was a good book.
I thought Reach
Good
was
story.
but-
I was okay with it. I just like Halo 3 more. Halo 3 I think is the best Halo.
Oh
That's
yeah,
just me.
no doubt. But I thought Reach was good in its own right for sure. I enjoyed it.
It was a fun change of pace. And like I said, I like the story more than like any other Halo. I think Halo Reach had the best campaign.
Halo 3 was probably the pinnacle in terms of things. I mean, I loved Halo 1, but Halo 3 was really good.
Yeah. Halo 3 was just like that time where the internet still wasn't as developed enough, and it was just a different time back then. Man. Halo
But
2
it was pretty much
really
the
good.
best online in terms of like gameplay back then. I mean, for
I mean, like the internet wasn't evolved to the point where we could yell at each other as easily.
Yeah, I miss
Over.
those. I miss those days.
Live chat.
I didn't have a phone where I could just be like, I'll show them.
well, you would
like
just go on
immediately.
N4G. You would just go on N4G, then type something, then wait for somebody to type back, and then you type back, and then you just go back and forth. That's how it was back then.
Oh man. Now we were on game FAQs and game
forums.
winners and
Yeah.
AOL, and we
Game
were showing
Revolution.
them.
GameRevolution.com.
Hey, we just got Verizon's DSL put in. I was rolling 1 megabit per second. Let's go.
Dude, I used to play Madden on the PS2 with that, or with the DSL. Man. It was so slow, but I was like, this is amazing.
Oh man. Wasteland 3. I'm not a big Wasteland person, but I'm sure there's some people who are excited for it. It's May 19th. Sea of Thieves new update November 20th. Nexon's Cartwriter. I had just learned about that game as soon as they showed it to me.
Same.
Okay.
Never heard it
Tight.
before.
All right
Yeah.
then. West of Dead, new twin stick shooter. That's November 25th. I think that's going to all platforms as
That
well.
looked kind of cool. That one.
Yeah.
Got Ron Perlman, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really big. Planet Coaster. Nothing really major after that. A lot of Game Pass. Game Pass was very, very obvious there. And a couple new IPs. Nothing.
Whoa.
What?
Did we skip
What did I
over
miss?
the biggest news of the event?
Oh no, he's leaving until the last. I'm sure.
Did you skip over? Well, there was two big things.
Okay. What do you got?
Did you skip over Age of Empires 4
Age of Empires 4 had a trailer shown, right?
and Age of Empires 2 Definitive?
I said Age of Empires 2 Definitive is
And
out, but
did you skip over Ori and the Will of the Wisps for February 11th?
they announced that Ori is a thing. I had no idea Ori was a game that was coming out. They gave us the release date though, February 11th, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Ready.
It's going to be an amazing game next
I'm already ready for the game. I'm already in for that game.
year. You're damn right you are.
Oh yeah. That's a great game. I'm ready for the Will of the Wisp to come out. Age of Empires 4, Nate. I didn't think you would play Age of Empires 4.
Age of Empires 2 was like my gaming life. It was like the only game I got on PC. I played Age
Really?
of Empires
That's the
2
only one?
a ton. I loved
That's
Age of
it?
Empires 2.
Really? Okay. Did you play the first one?
No.
Oh, I played the first one all the time. That was my favorite game back then. Age of Empires.
Then I
all
got
night, man.
3, and 3 was like a disappointment coming from 2.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, 3 wasn't as good as 2. I liked 1. I know 2 is technically better, but I just really liked 1. 1 was really good. Oh, we didn't talk about Flight Simulator either. Flight Simulator is actually kind of neat. It looks very, very good, photorealistic, and
Looks great.
And they're going to use the cloud for that, so where it actually generates entire cities, your own house, all
the
below
textures
you,
and
based on.
wireframes.
Do you just play that game with a controller, or is there like a special thing for that?
I feel like it's all keyboard and mouse, right? Like, I think it's coming to the
I heard it was
Xbox.
keyboard and mouse based, but there's tons of companies that have really realistic plane setups.
You use a flight stick for this
There'll
game,
be
right?
a multitude of different ways you'll be able to play that game. I'm sure
I feel
there'll
like that'd be a way I'd wanna. Yeah.
Build a little cockpit in your room,
you
just
could
sitting.
play, you could play it like Ace
one of the
Combat
chairs.
with a controller, Ace Combat style. But then there's these like hardcore like flight sim people that literally set up like massive flight sims in their bedrooms with the the sticks and the yokes and the controls and everything. So I think it'll really cater to everyone.
Yeah, it looks nice.
What the hell is RuneScape?
It's a very, very old MMORPG.
RuneScape,
that attempted to change itself. Everyone complained, and then they went back to the original.
They went back
version.
to old school. Yeah,
Dude, that's
what I grew
old,
up on.
dude. That's like Newgrounds old,
that.
Nate. That's like when we were on Newgrounds laughing at really stupid things. That was there for us.
Yeah, I've
I grew
never
up on
even heard of that.
Yeah.
I think I might have downloaded. I think that's so old you could download it off of AOL back in the day. I think so. Any last thoughts on XO19? I think it was okay. It was better than last year. XO18 was terrible though, so it's like I hope it's better than last year.
I think it was one of Microsoft's better presentations of basically this entire generation.
I agree.
It moved along well. I think last E3 was probably better.
I think the main thing for me is just like little things, like people being very loud and cheering all the time. I mean, you don't have the Bethesda guy. It's like, woo, woo, like every 2 seconds, right? But it's so funny. Like one of the people will be talking, and there's just that one guy just like over her shoulder, like, break eye contact with the camera. Like, stop looking at the camera, dude.
I know what guy you're talking about too.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
Well, we still have to talk about. Well, I do think they should have closed out better. I think that's the big thing that really sticks out to me is you got to close with something big. Nintendo knows how to do it really well. The last state of play did it pretty well with the release date for Last of Us that they then delayed. But they closed that. That was a good way to close it out. I think Microsoft needs to figure that out. Otherwise, though, they got something there. So, like I said, Fable would have been a good one to close out with.
What happened to Battletoads, man? They could have talked about Battletoads.
The more they show that, the less they sell it. So
Microsoft is in such a weird place. Like, you had Spencer do the interview where he said, we still haven't sent out dev kits.
That's one of the most worrying things I've ever heard someone say, by the way.
It's worrying for a lot of reasons, because we are realistically looking at possibly or maybe 12, 13 months out from the potential launch of Scarlet, and he's saying officially, publicly, that they have not sent out dev kits, while we know plenty of developers have PlayStation 5 dev kits, and Microsoft is just kind of sitting there twiddling their thumbs, and he's sitting there with a big smile face. We'll be fine. Like, well, are you going to be fine? Because you're not giving developers the tools they need, but you're promising us an awful lot with the system. And I think that's why they're holding back even their own cards, because they're either playing they're either planning a game of chess where he's publicly saying we haven't sent out dev kits, and they actually have, and the NDA is just ridiculous. And come E3, it's just going to be this monumental event of Scarlet, or he's telling the truth, and they're going to have a really, really bad launch if they try to hit next November. Or they're not launching holiday 2020, and they're coming in spring 2021.
They have to launch holiday. Go ahead,
launch holiday.
My theory on that. I mean, Nate is 100% correct about the dev kits, but I think what's going to save them is they're probably using Scorpio dev kits right now, and that's enough to get them over the line as far as launch for next year, cross-gen games and all that kind of stuff.
So you think they're using it as like a stopgap?
Yeah, I mean, I think so, and I think once they get the Scarlet dev kits, whenever that will be, then they'll obviously retarget their code to run on it. But
those dev kits have 24 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah, I mean, they're just PCs. They're high spec PCs at the end of the day. So I think that's really what is the approach they're taking. Now, I'm not saying that's a good approach, because it could really get them in a lot of trouble, especially when it comes to we're like literally 12 months away from the launch of the next generation. But I think that's what they're doing with development of the next gen.
Got it. And the other thing that they did talk about, because we're going to transition to this, is xCloud. And I have to give them credit. They straight up ran over Stadia, and they backed up and ran over Stadia again.
Well, I mean,
that was bad.
We have to give Google credit for walking onto the road and just standing there waiting for the car to hit them.
Dude, it was bad. I saw that. I was like, oof. What? I think I don't even know if Stadia's showing up next week for me, like the controller and everything. And here's Microsoft. I look at what they show, and I'm in the beta, the alpha thing right now, right? Like I've been streaming some of their games to my phone to try it out for a video, and they go up and they say, oh, there's all these games now in there, because originally it was 5. It was like Gears, Forza, Killer Instinct, 2 other ones, I think. Now it's 50 something games in there, and I said, what, really? Because I hadn't checked it that day, and I look in there and they're all there. Like I loaded up Madden to try it out. WWE 2K20's in there already.
Why?
I don't know. I can actually pull it up right now and look through the list right now. And
well, it's the perfect game, because you can't tell if the game is just running like shit due to XPlay, or if it is actually the game itself. Is like, well, is my latency bad, or is it just a game?
So when you boot into it, just one whole server brick gets taken up by it.
Check this out. Ace Combat 7 is in here, and all of these you just hit and it plays. Like you don't have to buy them; it just plays it. Bloodstained.
That's good that they got that game in there.
Yeah, Crackdown 3, Darksiders 3, Devil May Cry 5, Forza of course is in there, Halo 5 is the other one, Hellblade's in there, Just Cause 4, Madden, NFL 20, Ori's in there, Recourse, Sea of Thieves, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is already in there, Sniper Elite 4, Soul Calibur 6, Tales of Vesperia. That's actually not a bad one to play over xCloud. You can get away with that. It's a little RPG. Yeah. Vampire, World of Final Fantasy, Maxima, World War Z, and WWE 2K20. I was a little surprised when they showed that. I was like, really? All that? Yeah, it's all there.
It's a pretty legitimate lineup.
Yeah, they're not like old games.
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised. I mean, you can mix some old and some new, but like that was surprising. And then they said it's going to be ready for PC beginning of next year, whereas Stadia is all over the place right now.
Well, this is also something you're not going to pay individually for the games too, right? Because these are simultaneous.
Well, then they announced that xCloud is going to be mixed with Game Pass. Yeah. And once they said that, Google Stadia's done. I was like,
yeah,
that's it.
You're not paying for the games. So yeah.
So I think what's going to happen is if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you can just automatically stream your games to xCloud. Like, probably. That's it. And that's $15 a month. Stadia is $10 a month. For nothing. I think they'll throw you a game here and there. I think they'll give you Destiny 2, but like retailers were like making you leave with Destiny 2 back then. Like they're like, you can buy this Luigi's Mansion 3, but only if you take Destiny 2 with you.
Yeah. Like, Best Buy was using Destiny 2 as like a bag.
Yeah. And as a bag. And it's once they said that, I was like, why would I get Stadia now? And then they announced DualShock 4 support.
Yep. All the booze in the audience.
Stadia's in a really bad spot, right? I mean, like, they're in a really bad spot. And then you saw that thread, right? I mean, John, I saw it was first on Twitter, that thread that you linked with all the problems with Stadia at launch, or all the missing stuff.
Oh, they're missing a lot. There's an achievement system, but there's no UI for the achievement system. So you'll earn an achievement, but nothing will pop up on screen. They're gonna have a patch.
You'll have to go to the menu after the fact, or
yeah, they're gonna have a patch, and then everything will show up after that. But they don't know when that's happening. Yeah, it's gonna be funny when I get that patch and it's just all these achievements popping up everywhere. But the craziest thing to me, I don't get this at all. You can't actually buy the games through Stadia.
Could use one of these, right?
You have to use a phone to buy them, and then when you do that, then you can go over to your Chromecast.
What are they, Nintendo?
Yeah,
it's worse than Nintendo.
Well, is it just your phone or is it your Pixel?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I have a Pixel, right? So that's why I was holding it in the air.
I have a
okay, all right.
I have a OnePlus 7, so
That's
I hope this works.
Yeah.
I assume it's through just their store page, so you can just do it through. I think it's probably the Play Store or something. If not, I'm gonna be in trouble. I'm playing a lot of Destiny too.
This is horrible. Google Stadia is horrible. This is going to be a train wreck. I don't think this is going to be. After all this, I am honestly like doubting. Google needs to do something because it's not looking good. Like it's gonna look like nobody's gonna care about this.
It feels like a soft launch, but they're charging you money to partake in a soft launch when they could have just had a public beta and done a lot of this stuff. I mean, they're launching it and saying, yeah, family sharing's not there, this isn't there, this isn't there, this isn't there. Like, then why are you launching it?
Yep,
just delay it
paid
3 months.
I paid $130 to be in the Stadia beta that I don't know if that controller is going to show up next week.
It's just be a box with a refund and an apology.
They're going to deliver it to your house, I heard.
Oh yeah, they're going to drive it to my house. Oh man,
and deliver.
But I paid $130 for that, and I just downloaded an app and sent an email for this for xCloud, and there was 50-something games for me to just try.
Well, you get to play. You spent $130 for friggin' Destiny 2.
I mean, I got a controller and a Chromecast, I guess, but like,
wow.
Yeah,
I spent that same 130 too. I spent that same 130.
No,
and I can't wait to tell you guys to not buy this.
They got me. Oh, they got us. They got us, man.
See, YouTube preemptively jacked my channel because they already knew what was coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, so started with me, John. You're next. All right, so watch out, man.
I think all Google's counting on is that they can tie it into YouTube with the free stuff next year. In which case, they should just wait until next year. They should have waited till the free service was ready.
Yeah.
Like that's it. I don't get it.
This is just another one of those things where Google they just half bake everything that they've ever tried to do. You know, like I have Google Fiber where I live, and most of the country doesn't. But
I would like that.
They were supposed to roll it out. They were supposed to roll it out over the whole country, across the country, and for some reason they just stopped doing it, and they've never picked it up since. And this is just another one of those things where they go in all guns blazing. The launch is really, really shaky. And then 12 months from now, no one's even going to remember Stadia at all because xCloud is going to be dominating.
It's because we're already going to have, if you just have Game Pass Ultimate, apparently you just have xCloud then. It's like,
I mean, maybe
with that audience.
Maybe Microsoft's announcement is going to force Google to reevaluate things and try to come up with their own Netflix style of a game service. But I don't trust Google. I didn't trust Google to stay with this thing back when they announced it. I don't see them sticking to it beyond 2022. I see them maybe doing a 2-year commitment, then sitting and saying, you know, we're out.
Because
they're going to abandon the hell out of it. I mean, I might be wrong.
I think you might be right.
But I mean, if I am wrong, whatever. But I think that this is going to get abandoned.
Keep that controller mint, OJ. We might have a piece of like history in gaming.
Yeah, well, that controller looks cool. I will say the controller looks okay.
They're pretty colors, at least. I like the mint blue one, but I feel like they have like an that's all I get. I'm trying here.
That's all you got. It's good.
I feel like they just like kind of in a way maybe overestimated, you know, like their buy-in with the kind of like the gaming community in a little bit. Because I just feel like, you know, they're like, oh, this is going to be new, the next gen and stuff like that. It's like, okay, but you literally have like no rapport with us. We're all super sketch. And you're literally not doing anything.
They're going to go to a YouTube streamer and they're going to say, well, here's $10 million. You're going to praise this.
Wait a minute.
They're going to gladly go on their thing and put the little hashtag ad. And they're going to be like, Stadia is awesome. You can trust me because I'm a YouTuber shill.
For 10, hold on. For $10 million. I mean, come on, Nate. Nate, you won't go team.
Google came to my door and they said, hey, we'll give you $10 million. And you have to say, this thing is great.
Specifically for the Nate the Hate channel. Specifically for the Nate the Hate channel.
Give me the money. For 6 months, I'll sit there and say, this is awesome. In 6 months and one day, I'm going to say, this thing was a piece of crap.
I'm giving a copyright strike to everyone here if they gave me something. All you guys getting copyright strikes. And I'm out, bro.
Nate's camera would cut on real quick with the Stadia hat on.
Waving the flag, Stadia, YouTube #1.
For $10 million, sit there like, I'm your #1 fan.
Just tattoo the word across your forehead. Be the best face reveal ever.
They're gonna have marketing all over YouTube for that when it's ready to go. So I think we might even have it next to ads. You hit a button and it plays it for you immediately.
It just sounds like one giant extension. in my opinion. Like the
Yeah.
advertising to YouTube, like, oh, you could buy the game right underneath someone that's live streaming. It's like, okay, but you
it's
giant thing just for maybe that one thing that I could see.
They're just not a game company. We just don't see them as that. So it's like they should just come to the table with a console and been done with it. They don't seem serious.
They don't want to spend they don't want to spend the money, because if you ditch this, it's cool. It was all you spent money on developers and obviously marketing, all that blah blah. But it's like there's no system. There's no so they can just ditch this and be like, all right, well, we tried. And
this was an idea where basically a nerd in the department said, hey, streaming is a thing. We can do gaming. And the executives are like, we want to do this, but we don't want to spend a lot of money. And they said, well, we can do this. And they said, well, let's do it. And they're like, well, what are we doing? We're launching with Thumper, which is an excellent game in VR and even on the Switch. I'm not going to stream that game, because if you even have like 1 millisecond of lag,
that is an insane reaction.
Work right.
Yep. And then they were like, "You're right. Get us all 3 Tomb Raiders on there."
And they're like, "Yeah, we'll get Tomb Raider."
That'll do it.
Yeah. Woohoo.
Yeah, they just don't. I think what's the biggest thing they have? Red Dead Redemption 2? Is that the biggest thing they have there?
That game already got input delay with the control.
Yeah, I mean,
add on top of stream.
You add the negative latency on top of the input delay.
That means that if it's taken care of on PC, it'll just feel like you're playing the Xbox version.
And if they're running that program that automatically does it all for you, it'll just do it as you kind of point in the direction to go.
It's the perfect game. It's like a movie.
That's what.
Oh my God.
Press a button, the gun goes up 3 seconds later. I'm good on that, bro. I'm good on Red Dead, even normally, bro. Like, not on Stadia.
They didn't think their launch is horrific. They were just like, yeah, look at all these big games from a long time ago. Don't you want to spend full price to hopefully see if they can work on your network? No. Can I have demos? Can I have something else, Google?
It's gonna be interesting when if that stuff shows up.
And I'll stream Mortal Kombat 11, and you can just pretend you're hitting the buttons.
I will say some people already started getting their Stadia stuff showing up. I saw Greg Miller post that his showed up. I think Lamar Wilson has showed up as well. So I guess maybe Monday or Tuesday I'll get mine. I'm not on the West Coast, so it's like it has to ship, I assume, from there.
They were supposed to send an email when they were shipping it, right?
Oh, good.
I thought that, but I haven't gotten mine either. I'm on the West, so I haven't gotten mine yet.
Okay. Well, maybe those are. I don't know if those are press, but I thought Greg Miller bought it because I saw they posted that they bought it.
Some did get review units last week.
Oh, they should have sent it to me.
Right.
Oh man, that'd have been funny. Actually, don't send me that. Don't do it. Still super chats here. Evan, did you have any Discord questions?
No, we're clear, man.
We're all done. Okay, let's go through the super chats. We'll be good to go. Ziljan says, speaking of T rating, do you think games go too extreme now? Like it's either E or a E10 or M. Very few T rated games now, at least I've seen. I'm trying to think what other teen that was teen. What else did I buy recently? Teen.
I haven't paid attention to like a rating. Jumanji is teen. I don't.
Oh, there we go. See,
out of all games, Jumanji.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to think of what else was teen rated recently that I bought.
Chat saying Luigi's Mansion 3. Is that right?
That is Luigi's Mansion 3 is E.
I was gonna say it. Yeah.
Looking at it right here.
Yeah, there'd be nothing in there.
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot's going to be teen.
That should be teen. Yeah.
Dragon Quest 11.
Dragon Quest that should be teen. Yep.
It's teen.
Man, I wish they need a different rating for Dragon Ball because that's like violent, but not. They have to like still censor some of it in game. Man, that's too bad. They a lot. Sometimes games just don't want mature rated. And honestly, Disney might not have wanted it to be mature rated anyway with Star Wars. So, and also I think that E10 rating really helped a lot of companies too, because otherwise it would have been a teen rating.
That's true.
Yeah. Cam says, first you made me buy Game Pass. Now I'm going to buy Star Wars because of you. You should work for Xbox. Keep up the great content. Well, you can get you can get Jedi on anything. You can get that on PS4, Xbox, or PC. Go wherever you want. Apparently the Xbox version is not very good, so.
Spawn's looking for that mixer deal, bro. I'm telling you.
I know, right? Where's that
that sweet mixer deal?
I would if they approach you, do it, John, and never ever look back.
Do it.
Do it and never look back.
The SpawnCast taking their talents to Mixer.
Hell yeah. If they came knocking about the door, hey, here's a $20 million contract. Going to Mixer.
You're gonna hang out with Ninja and Shroud. It'll be great.
They gave Ninja like 50 million. We're worth at least. We're
like a half million.
Yeah, we're close to half of that. We're a lot more people.
Oh man.
No, bro.
Quantity, not quality.
I'll take that.
Microsoft needs to come knocking with that Game Pass sponsorship, though. That's what they got to do.
Yeah, I think that too. Give us $10 million worth of Game
Okay,
Pass.
what? how are these companies just showing up in your mind, Nate, with millions of dollars?
Well, I figure $10 million is $100,000 a year for 100 years. That's enough to live on.
100 years.
It's
Brian
a good number.
Brian, I mean, it's a great number for us. I don't know if Microsoft's
It's not an astronomical amount. Like that's what Jeff Bezos makes in 2 seconds.
Brian says, could lack of loot boxes and Fallen Order be a shift in EA with at least some of their games? I hope so, but probably not. I would like to believe that EA and Respawn might be able to make more games like this going forward. I think Respawn should definitely stay in the Star Wars universe now, though. So I think they can make those games pretty easily. So,
because Apex is still really active and they have loot boxes for that. So,
Sean's mom then posted her friends code and then says, "Looking for friends or more." All right, there you go. Ziljan says, "So am I the only person who cares about Postal 4? I haven't seen anyone cover it all."
We did talk about it from a question a while ago.
Yeah, I think some of us didn't even know that game came out. So I guess
I gotta Google this.
I didn't know that Postal 4 was out. I'll check it out.
Can you still use a gun up a cat's ass and silence it with it?
It looks interesting. Just watch a video. It's weird.
Okay. Also, this is the last of my free super chats. Thanks, Diljan. Appreciate it. I guess Google or YouTube is running around with free super chats, but I appreciate it. Cam says, not pads, Game Pass. Yeah, here's hoping the Star Wars games goes great. Keep it up as always. Yeah, it's good. Jedi Fallen Order is good. So it might be one of the last single player Star Wars games we get in a long time. So I would support it to change their mind about that. Skylar says they gave me 5 free super chats, and then he says you can have them all. So there you go. I guess they just
wonder how many Stadia ads you have to watch to get those.
Right. Skylar that says this is the best Pokemon game I've played. I'm hopeful that future games will expand on the multiplayer features. Rikudu says, so you cap and spawn because that XO was dog poop. I don't know what you would call last year's XO then. But
it was better than I think you got to compare it to a lot of people trying to compare it to Nintendo Directs and stuff. You just got to kind of say, okay, look, they're not going to be
year over year.
Yes. It's they've got some cool stuff. They've got it's better. They've got some good announcements. They involve Rare. It's gonna. I mean, it's better than what we saw before. Overall, was it oh my gosh, amazing? No, but it was still
good
solid.
Step.
It was
still solid.
I think if a Nintendo Direct came out and they had Yakuza and Final Fantasy 14 and Kingdom Hearts,
I didn't mention that.
People would be applauding it like this was the greatest Direct ever.
I meant to mention that Final Fantasy 14 apparently is going to the Xbox as well. Phil Spencer mentioned that kind of when he was talking in an interview. Apparently that's happening. They're going to make that multi-plat. They're working on it right now, which is interesting because I thought there was some issue between them. But again, another one that could possibly go to the Switch. There you go. Skylar says, why can't Nintendo figure out multiplayer with friends? I should just be able to invite my friends to trades, battles in Pokemon without a code.
Yeah, you have to do some weird systems.
You need a code. There's a code.
No, it's you basically, if you want to trade with a friend, you tell them a code for the game, you set it, and then you go, and then the first person to type that code in that the server finds for you matches you up with that person. So if somebody else types it in before you, I'm trading with someone else. I just have to pay attention to the names. So it's it doesn't use proper friend interactions.
Does that
they did that with Let's Go too, right?
They did that with Let's Go. Yeah, I thought.
It's Game Freak being behind the times. Once they figure it out, it's it'll be great.
They didn't use that new tab in on the Switch where it's your multiplayer invites and everything?
Oh, none of it.
I don't know how it would work with Pokemon in terms of would it work for max raid battles? Would it work for everything?
Yeah, why wouldn't it? The ability to be let's do a max raid battle and have it be who do you want to invite? And then it shows you who on your friends list is playing right now. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just saying, I don't know how it would do. Like, would it tell you like somebody wants to trade and that would pop up on your dashboard, like, or somebody wants to like, how would it?
It could, because right now all it is you have to set it, and then it becomes almost like a buffering thing in the bottom left until it finds someone, and it goes, hey, we've got someone, and then you can trade.
Well, yeah, I traded with somebody to get like a Surfetched or whatever, or Galarian Farfetched. I traded with, and like but it was easy because they were in the chat, so they just said, hey, it's just gonna be me and you. So then it was just, we put it in, and then it traded. And
it has the great ability of, once you trade one, you can continue to trade. Like, it doesn't kick you immediately out of that trade.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so we continue, or it will just like random, like if somebody's just looking to trade because the game is just, there's a bunch of people around, somebody else will just start up with you, and then you guys can kind of like barter back and forth, like, well, what do you want to give, or that, So I guess I did it, but I guess if they're not having a stream and all that, and if they're not in communication with the person, then it would be harder.
Let's see. Then we had donations with no messages from Matthew D, Ryan Casper, and Spaxer. And then Cody said Dookie shoes. Maybe that's for XO. All right. Atlanta says Frogger is coming. Your wish for arcade port on Switch. Yeah, Frogger is going to the Switch through the arcade archive stuff, I believe.
Frogger's coming to Smash, actually.
There you go. All right, let's go.
He's coming.
Are there any arcade ports that you guys want to see on the Switch?
Lots.
Ninja Turtles.
Where do you start, man? Yeah, Turtles games would be good. I mean, Daytona, like the Sega Model 2 games. I'd down for those.
Simpsons, get Simpsons done. Bring them in.
I mean, House of the Dead's coming, right?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. That could be fun.
Remakes.
Yeah, let's see what Forever Entertainment does with those games.
Nate always down on Forever Entertainment over there.
Their games go on sale to 1 cent. Like,
we were so excited about Panzer Dragoon, and Nate's like, "That's Forever Entertainment."
Is it not good?
I mean, did you see what they did to Fear Effect? Yeah, that game was fantastic.
Which one, Sedna?
Yeah, that game was great.
Yeah,
that wasn't a remake, though. That was a new game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess as long as they just HD house it. I fear they'll be like, you have to use analog controls. Like, yeah, that's not fun. You can't take a light gun game and just be like, you have to use analog sticks to shoot. Like,
Noah says free super chat from YouTube. No better place than SpawnCast. Thanks for the gaming news. Johnny says, can you ask the guys at Sacred Symbols to be on? That would be Colin and Chris, right? Right? Am I right? Colin and Chris?
Yeah, it's Colin.
Yeah. They can come on. I don't know. They're pretty busy with their podcast too. But yeah, I'm open to pretty much, for the most part, I think anyone being on the SpawnCast, really. Yeah. Yes. Nate.
It's just pure science. Like, yeah.
I'm waiting for Nate. I'm waiting for Nate over here.
I am enjoying a nice glass of eggnog.
Oh gosh! All right, fine.
Eggnog.
Starting early there, Nate.
It's November.
Eggnog is disgusting.
Whoa. We're not going to hate on eggnog.
You calm down.
Will.
Got any alcohol in there?
No, it's alcohol free.
Yeah, I'm fine with
isn't that the reason
Colin or Chris, but they got their own big podcast, man. Sacred Symbols is big.
But the eggnog is garnished with a dash of nutmeg.
Nutmeg flavored alcohol? Like,
no, just a dash of nutmeg.
I saw another super chat that'll test Nate here. We'll see how good that nutmeg is, or the eggnog is in a minute. Wait, are you using the what you call it, seasoning on it?
Yeah.
Nutmeg.
Nutmeg.
Yeah, nutmeg. Yeah. Good. I'm just making sure. I'm making sure.
Are you drinking a little of the eggnog?
No, I wanted eggnog, but I didn't get it yet.
Where they're selling us.
Yeah. Spaxer says free super chat.
What the hell is going on here?
there we go.
I said eggnog, and all of a sudden we get like spam botted.
Austin on that.
Okay, so we have Taylor says, I love to see them remake the Super Star Wars games, or at the minimum just put them on the Nintendo Switch. Dr. Claw says, listen, I love the Pokemon games and Game Freak has brought me a lot of joys, but I feel like them trying to use the Unreal Engine would have result in a Duke Nukem Forever development time. I mean, the idea of Unreal is it makes it quicker to get a game done.
For people who know how to use it, yeah.
Many tools.
Yeah, but when you hire devs, you have to be like, do you know Unreal?
Like, that's the other thing they have to understand. Because I know, was it Miyamoto who was talking about how they were learning at Nintendo how to use Unreal? And they were pretty good at it apparently. But I mean, Game Freak is like, they're Game Freak.
They ride out into the countryside of Japan, into like the small little huts. And it's just the guys out there with their little DOS computers.
This will be a good super chat. Caden says, hey, if I send a controller of mine to you, can you do a teardown? Can you tear it down and make a video of it? Possibly, although I'd rather just know what controller it is and I'll see if I want to just pick it up myself and have it brought in. And I know this name and I know it set Nate off last time.
Oh God.
I am not as familiar with this name, but I know it set Nate off last time. Also, can Josh from the BitBlock come on the SpawnCast? I remember.
You can have him here. I will not be partaking in that week.
Oh no.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't care.
I mean, I prefer podcasts without racist, but that's just me.
Oh God. Oh no.
Spaxer says Smash Ultimate for Game of the Year. That'll be interesting to see how that all goes down because that was December.
So when do the nominations come out for
Tuesday? Tuesday.
That'll be fun.
Yes, that'll be a fun day on the internet. Everyone should be online then. That'll be fun. The Robot Chicken says, we know there are differences, but the vast majority of geometry is clearly recycled. The idea that they rebuilt from scratch is nonsense. That's probably for the models, the Pokemon models.
They already said that was the translation. It was rebuilt. They rebuilt them from what they had. They had to rebuild it. They didn't just take a 3DS model then just it's on Switch. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it works.
Super Smash Drew says misclick for a random Hallmark movie.
What is that even supposed to mean?
It was
because I'm white.
Have you ever watched Hallmark movies, Misclick?
I have a mother, so yeah.
They're usually sad.
So, what?
You kind of potentially could look like one of the leading women in lots of Hallmark movies. I think that's where he's going with that.
I have to make a Christmas wreath and meet the love of my life. Like one of those. Yeah.
It was like just a Hallmark movies, but just like the standard
girl next door. Thanks, guys.
Attractive woman
Girl
that's the lead role that you might not know exactly, like super popular, but
gotta make Christmas wreath, man. Thanks. I'll take it as a compliment. I'll take it as a compliment.
It's a compliment. Those are good. Those are solid movies.
Thanks for the dollar, man.
Taylor's no message. Thanks, Taylor. Dr. Claw says the thing with Pokemon is that everything depends on the game. The toys are based on the cards, or based on the show, is based on the game. Delaying the game would have held up the entire franchise. I mean, I think the game is just one part of it. The merchandise makes the most money out of it. Like the merchandise makes some stupid amount of money. It's crazy. It makes
trading cards.
Like I know the merchandise makes more than 3 times of what the game makes in a year.
What is going on?
Taylor says if Game Freak can't delay the game if need be, doesn't that imply that the game isn't the most important part? Everything spin out of the game, right? No, actually, a lot of it has to do with just at this point. Originally, it had a lot to do with the game, but now it's kind of turned into the merchandise and the show working together in tandem. But I remember when it first came out, it was the game, but then it spun off to the anime and merchandise and everything. I thought I had the idea of Game Freak having doing like what Activision does, where they have 3 different studios working for Call of Duty to give them all plenty of time to work on it. I had that thought, and I thought they kind of started doing that with Let's Go, having
teams. What they have is they have a main team. They have Team A, Team B, and then a Team C. Team A worked on Sword and Shield. Team B will either make the 3rd version or the inevitable sequel, like. If I want to call it Sword and Shield 2 or whatever. Mm-hmm. Team C, which incorporated the mobile company they bought a couple of years ago, made Let's Go. Okay. And then they have like a subdivision that did things like Little Town Hero.
Oh, you might want to merge that division with everyone else.
So it's not like there's just the same group of people that's sitting there saying Sword and Shield. All right, now next year we have to come out with another Pokemon game, and the year after that, and the year there are tiers within, and it's different people working on the projects. It's just within one studio where Activision looks at like Ravensoft and say, hey, you used to make Tony Hawk. Too bad. Now you're making Call of Duty, and Neversoft, you're making Call of Duty, and everyone else were bought. You're all making Call of Duty, though when we bought you, you were making tons of different IPs. It's nothing like that.
Okay. K19 says codename Steam HD for the Switch, please, Nintendo. Dr. Claw says, I wonder if Scarlet will continue the trend of all first-party games coming to PC as well. If so, I wonder if the console will be a hard sell. I think it will. I think you'll just see, like, at this point, Halo Infinite's going to be on PC, we believe. So, yeah, I think everything will just go that way. They want to sell a service. They really want it. Everything else is just stepping stone to it. So, Pablo says, serious question, is someone from the Stadia team delivering personally your Stadia kit to you, Spawnwave? No, they are not. That would be hilarious, but they are not. Although they might deliver it to OJ, because I don't actually, you're a little further away too. They kind of said they were like kind of like, when I'm on my way home from work, you know, if you're on the way, I'll drop it off. All right, that's kind of how it was.
Yeah, and we can play Stadia together in your living room. How weird is that, by the way?
that is really strange. I feel like they were joking about it, like it was supposed to be a joke, but it was a little too, like, you know, they were like testing the waters, you know, put a feeler out there, like, I wonder if someone will let me play Stadia with them in the living room. Okay. Ziggity says, shout out to Reused Models and permanent member of the cast, MVG. There you go.
Thank you.
Tifa says, happy to have Miss Click on the SpawnCast again. You'll see Miss Click a lot more now. She's around.
I'm lurking.
John says, so if you have a digital copy of Pokemon Sword and Shield, disable autosave as soon as you boot up. Autosave crashes will corrupt EX-FAT SD cards, like you were saying.
It's a known issue. We're waiting for Nintendo to fix it, but we'll see. We'll see.
Dr. Cole then says, Ouya 2, Stadia. Actually, that's about right.
Could be.
John Atkinson says, also, I've heard reports of Sword and Shield online services are causing with Rokus, but I haven't experienced it. Maybe the Roku thinks it's a stream. Which is Sword and Shield online service. Oh, if you have like a Roku on your network, I guess it's having issues with it. It's interesting. I don't have a Roku, so I don't know. Is that it? There might be a few others, and then we can finish up. Yeah, E-Man says, I just played the same level of Fallen Order where you get captured, and it did the same thing for me where you glitched in space, had to restart too. You'll have to let me know if that happens to you, MVG, because you're on PC.
Yeah, will do. Yeah.
This was on the Xbox. I literally loaded into the level, and I was looking around, there's just space around me. I had to restart. Definitely some glitches with the game, so hopefully they patch them. Mitch says, why hasn't Square brought Western games to Switch? Like Tomb Raider or like Just Cause or
like Life is Strange.
Life is Strange. That's another one.
They just don't feel there's a market for it, so bring it over.
They still need to get Kingdom Hearts moved over.
Life is Strange on Switch would be awesome.
Yes, actually, I would agree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They just don't feel like doing it.
Telltale aren't either, are they?
If they wanted to do it, they do it, but they don't feel like doing it.
Telltale is not, on
the Switch.
I
mean, not that we can really expect anything.
Yeah, I thought there was stuff on there.
Is it?
Yeah, you got Walking Dead and Batman.
Yeah,
Batman's on there.
RGT played Batman on there. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh, I'm about to pick those up.
Physical?
Yeah, they have. I thought they had a physical copy of. I know that's a physical copy of Batman. I don't know if there was one of Walking Dead. There might have been.
Like those Telltale games.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, those games.
Yeah.
Those games.
Rodrigo says, literally just finished Pokemon Sword and lost the podcast. The game feels rushed, but a solid 7. Okay.
It's not a bad score.
I mean, that my problem is I use the whole thing, like the whole review scale. It's like how the movies, if you look on Metacritic, it's green when it's like a 60 or something.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be me.
Yeah, 5 is
giving those scores.
7's a good score, and that's a good. They've got a lot that they can improve, so that can easily go up to a 9. The next game.
That's the other thing I thought about. IGN gave this game a 9.3. what if the next one really doesn't?
It's because Masuda's name's attached to it.
Oh gosh. Okay.
But the next one comes out, it's gonna be a 9.4, and they're just gonna give it like a little bit of an
That's my
increment.
concern. What if the next one really is that much better? Like it's like they did it, they got it. You know?
No, it's gonna have too much grass.
10 out of 10, baby. I'm waiting for that 10 out of 10.
But does that mean that it has to go up from 9? Like it can't score lower than that, then, right?
Well,
That's kind of the problem
because
with it.
it's not the same reviewer. It's a different time. That's the problem with the numerical score is that people like to use that stupid IGN picture of God Hand versus Imagine's Babies.
Dude,
Imagine Babies is a better game than God Hand according to the IGN review. Like it's a different person.
Dude, God
it's a
Hand
different platform. It's a different time. It was 10 years ago. Get over it.
Yeah, but the guy that reviewed God Hand was a moron, giving it 3 out of 10.
God Hand got a raw deal, man.
He basically went into the game like, I'm going to hate this game no matter what it does, and he just flat out, and that's how he reviewed it. He wasn't looking at the game to be anything but what he set his mind to, and it wasn't what he expected. So I was like, well, this game's a piece of crap.
My favorite IGN memory was when Prototype and the PlayStation one.
Infamous.
Yeah, Infamous. When those both came out at around the same time and IGN reviewed them, the guy who reviewed Prototype, one of his first lines was, I hate comic book games. That was it. Like he outright was just like, I hate comic book games. He gave it like a 4 or something. It was a low score.
The first Prototype was all right.
It was all right. I enjoyed playing it, but he gave it a 4. Meanwhile, the guy on Infamous side was like, oh my God, Marvel made a game. And it's like,
I mean,
Infamous is a more polished game than.
I mean, that's just the problem we run into with the numerical scores for reviews. Like, if you look back, I had this debate on Twitter where people saying, oh, and it was about Death Stranding, where they said no reviews ever said a game had so many flaws and still got high scores. In 2006, 1UP reviewed Gears of War. And if you read the review, he's saying the AI is broken, the controls are broken, the online is broken, they use the A button too much, the aiming is broken, and he gave it an A+. So as far as the review is concerned, nothing about Gears of War worked, but yet it was a perfect game?
But
how was that possible?
Was it fun?
That's where if you read the review, like he's sitting there saying, this is a game that everything is like annoying me, but I can't stop playing it because despite all of these problems, I am really enjoying the game. It's like, oh, so there, if you read the review, you understand. But if you just look at it, be like, well, he lists 15 negatives. How can it get a perfect score? Because sometimes a game is more than just one thing. It's sums of many parts. And even with cons, sometimes the pros vastly outweigh those cons, and it still can be an excellent game.
Hey, all I know is somebody gave Paper Mario on the GameCube a terrible score for whatever reason.
That was Game Informer because they reviewed it based on, we went over this once before.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just harkening back to it because that's still
or even the 6 from GameSpot. Remember Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze?
That was a hard game though, right? Funky mode, man. That solved everything.
Because it was hard. They gave it a 6 because it was hard. He was like, "Oh, the game's great. It plays good." I'm just not good at the game. 6.
That was great when funky mode got added and the score went up to a 9.
And I seem to recall Luigi's Mansion getting low score on the GameCube when it came out because everyone was salty that it wasn't a Mario game. But
I remember that.
The controls were kind of weird too. For the first Luigi's Mansion,
it was still a great looking game at the time, and it was just like mind blowing how good it looked. But I think there was a lot of like, how are they launching the system without a Mario game? This is weird.
Well, because that was off of his Mario 64 was one of the most revolutionary games. So people were expecting, Mario 64 too, right? What are you gonna do now with better graphics? And then you got Luigi. So that was the issue there.
Oh man,
Luigi got his redemption, and now Luigi's Mansion is one of the most popular franchises.
It is. 3 is very good. Yes,
it's doing good. It's selling really well, so that's good.
Yes. Okay. So we're just about done. Dimitri's VA for best performance. He did a great job. Somebody says, I think people are underestimating the amount of time development takes, even if it is just porting over models. Still a larger scope game and platform. Toshi says, if they don't have all Pokemon, why call it Pokemon? That's the question right there.
That's the question.
You didn't see that, Nate? I posted it on Twitter too.
It was a Metacritic review.
Yeah, it was great. I love Metacritic. Oh, it's the site that keeps on giving. John says, just found out. Five Nights at Freddy's is coming to Switch. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, like 4 of them.
Yeah. Oh, I think they're showing up at the end of this month or something, right?
I think they all show up. It's either next week or the week after.
Yeah.
This month. Yeah.
Yep. Christopher says Easy Allies talked about how Pokemon is in general the #1 franchise in the world. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It makes an obscene amount of money. Yes, it is literally like the #1 like entertainment.
Yeah, we're talking
IP.
full franchise. It's not just
Completely.
the video game. It's the whole thing.
Yeah, like I said, merchandise is ridiculous.
It's like
in terms of how
Mickey
much money
Mouse
they make.
tier. Everyone knows it.
Yeah, the video games are obviously a decent portion, but it's when you go to Build-A-Bear and you get your Eevee or your Pikachu and all those stuffed animals they make, all the plushies, the keychains, the phone cases. I mean,
Yeah, it's
people don't even
ridiculous.
know what Pokemon is that walking around with Pikachu
Lunchboxes.
socks because they think it's cute.
Yep.
There's people at game that they don't even give a damn about the games in terms of what they do, or not the Pokemon company, right? They're worried about the Pokemon card game. They're worried about the scholarships they're going to be giving. They're worried about everything. There's so much other stuff outside of just games.
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon's hit that like Hello Kitty type appeal where people are just buying it because they like the face of the creature.
And then Mario says, "I like to do the cha-cha." And then Iman says, "How do you think? I think his last one. How do you think Halo Infinite is going to be on the Xbox One base console?" That is something I want to see because that's going to be hilarious.
Xbox One, there's going to be a lawsuit. It's going to blow up, and there's going to be some deaths. And
Look, all I'm saying is,
Sweet.
if you're not considering a Scarlet, okay, maybe Scarlet's gonna be like 500 or something, right? If you're not even thinking about that right now, the Xbox One X is going to be $350 on Black Friday with games. Maybe look into that because I would not play that on the base Xbox. I wouldn't play most games on the base Xbox because it is not good right now.
Aged terribly.
Don't hate on my Xbox.
Nate, it might be time to upgrade, man.
I still have
Why?
one.
Scarlet's about to come out. Why am I going to buy it?
You think it's coming out? You just said they didn't send out dev kits. I don't make confidence at all now, Nate.
It'll come out. We just don't know what the hell they're doing.
It might be time to get that X, man. We could be a year and a half. We could be a year and 8 months off of the Scarlet now.
I'll just use Stadia in the meantime.
Oh man.
No, I can never bring myself to do that.
Well, if you got Game Pass, you might be using xCloud to play. Oh man, Nate's gonna be using xCloud to play Halo Infinite.
Hey, if it works, well, who cares?
I mean,
And if it's on Game Pass, it doesn't cost me anything.
what if they start?
I got a controller.
What if they start streaming to the original Xbox One through xCloud on Game Pass, so it doesn't even matter what the original Xbox One is?
Even better.
That's a good way to bring everybody up to. That'd be interesting. I think that's everything here. Evan, we're good on Discord questions.
Yep, everything's set, man.
Oh, actually, hold on. John says A Hat in Time on Switch is one of those games with long load times and some lag and a bit buggy, but it's a game I can't put down. And then Adam says PS5 Scarlet backwards compatibility. Thoughts? I think I think Scarlet will absolutely be backwards compatible all the way through, and then I think PS5 will at least have PS4.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I think PS5 will probably have everything but PS3 because that's just still trouble. And Microsoft's been doing a really excellent job at cataloging all the way back to the original Xbox, so I see no reason why that wouldn't be the case moving forward.
Yes, that would be my thought as well. Cool. Let's go around here so we can finish up. Miss Click, where can they find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me again. You guys can find me on YouTube as Misclick Gaming. I am live every day on Twitch as Misclick_live. Every other thing that you want from me, like Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that, you can just find it on my website at misclickgaming.com.
Okay. OJ, I know you're on Twitch currently. Do you want me to change the thing in the description to your Twitch away from your just leave it?
Ghetto YouTube channel's fine.
Okay. Where can they find
They
you,
can
man?
find me on YouTube at Player Essence. You'll see it there, and also on Twitch TV / Player Essence. I'll be on there streaming. I stream pretty much every day. And next week, I guess we can talk about the new channel, but not Player Essence. And then on Twitter, Player Essence, you'll find me on there. So yeah, but yeah, I stream every day on Twitch. So come hang out. You can come hang out with me. You can hang out with Click. We're all there, party streaming and partying. Sometimes I'm watching your stream while I'm streaming, Miss Click. Did you know that?
Dude, we gotta play Splatoon.
That's the next level.
We gotta do it.
Yeah, we gotta do it. I played today. It was great. I got my butt kicked.
Then
Player Essence, just find me there. Thanks, guys.
cool.
Thanks
And
for
you
having
got
me
your
on.
second channel this week, right? Second channel.
Yeah, it'll be up Monday. Hopefully, I'm gonna be busting it Sunday. I'm gonna be. I'm gonna stuff. So, but yeah, Monday, hopefully, I'm gonna cross my fingers. But yeah, Monday will be up for the new channel. So yeah, that should.
And what about MVG? Can they find it, man?
You can find me, Modern Vintage Gamer, on social media. Monday's video, I am reviewing the Shield Pro.
Ooh, you found it.
And I'm going to be giving this away on the channel as well. So check out my video on Monday. You'll don't want to miss it.
That'd be awesome. What about Nate?
Find me on Twitter at DirkFeedGames. Link to my YouTube channel can be found there. Next week, I'll have undocked WRC 8 gameplay, some gameplay of this Blue Kid 2 game if it doesn't take 55 minutes to load again.
It is the first 10 minutes, right? You just do 10 minutes of just a load screen and then just...
Yeah, it was brutal. I couldn't believe it. I walked away and I came back and my Switch shut off because of like it timed out, and I put it on.
Went to sleep.
Still loading the screen. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. I said, I have to make a video because this is the longest intro load time of any game in history. But it was a memory leak, so I can't make that video now. And
where's your real channel, Nate? Where's your real channel?
My real channel is Nate the Hate. The Twitter is at Nate the Hate 2, the number 2. And I have, I think, 5 videos up there. The last video is me berating a Pokemon Sword and Shield troll who tried to make the game look worse than it really does, and using developer information to expose him as the fraud that he is. And there'll probably be a video up on Monday kind of condemning Game Freak's poor handling of pre-launch of Pokemon Sword and Shield, and a little bit of the Game Freak lied topic and how there's really no clear answer to that right now.
Okay. What about Evan?
Just Kimrick's project on Twitter. Link's probably below. I announce everything there, like when I started my 17-hour Pokemon stream yesterday. So,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can watch Evan play 17 hours of Pokemon. Hey, you go check out Evan on Twitch. He's pulling the hours there. I guess that's gonna do it here though tonight for SpawnCast episode 137. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll be back next weekend. We'll be talking about the Game Awards nominations, so that'll be a very fun episode, I think, and we should have Sean and Max back for that conversation because that'll be something. All right, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next weekend. Oh, Spawnwave, please continue. The blank has a PR problem.
Maybe like a segment.
Okay. Yes. EA has that's going to be like 2-hour movie. Okay. Go. See you guys next weekend.